Welcome, welcome, welcome. Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike, I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Oh man, let's talk facts. It is Friday, and I am so glad it's Friday because the one thing that I think this team needs to do, it just needs to be on the field. Because when the Cowboys are not on the field, man, it's just way, way too much talking. I mean, you got talking from the outside, and now we got this whole issue with Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. I was going to do a video on it, but I kind of procrastinated and said, let's just see how this turns out. But this has turned into another storm around the Dallas Cowboys. This whole thing with Micah Parsons. Let me say hello to everybody first. Post Boy, what's going on? Nancy, what's going on? Jose, striving to perfection, what's going on? Freddie, what's going on? And everybody else, just as you tune in, appreciate you coming in. If you catch it on the replay, I appreciate you on the replay. But nevertheless, I want to talk about, we're going to talk about the simple keys to the Cowboys winning this game. We're not going to do a whole lot of fancy graphics and stuff like that. We're just going to get down to brass taxes. What do the Dallas Cowboys need to win this game? We're going to talk about injuries. And then I want to look a little bit at Dak Prescott gave an interview. I forgot. I was going to do it yesterday, and it slipped my mind because talking to some people about some things they were saying that were just not true, and I got sidetracked, but I won't do that today. We're going to keep this thing strictly Cowboys today. And like I said, we're going to look at this thing with Dak Prescott in his interview, some things that he said that I'm catching on to once again that's not making sense to me, especially when you're talking about a Thursday, and it just don't make sense. And then again, like I said, I want to look at this thing with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs, because all of a sudden now it's making the rounds. It's making the rounds on the 3 and the 4 letter networks. And as usual, you got the Stephen A. Smiths and all these people. They're out there clowning. They're out there clowning because they did it to themselves. This is what happens when you do it to yourself. What's going on, Roberto? All right. So first things first. Let's get into this whole issue of Let's get into first the injury report for the Dallas Cowboys. The injury report for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what to say, if this is looking too good or not, especially with some things that have went on this week. But this is where we are. This is where we are. It looks like from our injury report, I want to see how it shakes down. I haven't heard anything today. I'll report when I be back today at around 5 or 5:30. I'll report the final injury report, or at least what I hope will be the final injury report, letting us know what we're going to be looking like going into the game. But the ones that I really want you to focus in on are the ones in the red. The ones in the red. This is a big deal. So you see here, of course, Linval Joseph, he's got a back issue. Zach Martin, he has a back issue. I think Zach Martin is going to play. That's just the type of player that he is. I think Eric Kendricks is going to be a go. And I'll tell you this much. Eric Kendricks better be a go, because we saw what this team looked like against Detroit without Eric Kendricks. I'm telling y'all, this dude is the quarterback of the defense. And if Eric Kendricks is not out there, his backup just isn't good enough or familiar enough with, how Mike Zimmer likes to do things. So we got Eric Kendricks. He's got a shoulder issue. Think he's going to play. And then we got the Amani cornerback. He's the cornerback. Not sure he's going to play either. But the major issue that is going to, that may come to fruition, I think Micah Parsons was kind of a long shot anyway. Those high ankle sprains, I'm telling you, those high ankle sprains are very hard to overcome. And I think the Cowboys are being very cautious with Micah Parsons. So I think that we're not going to see Micah Parsons. Deron Bland. I don't want to say it was fool's gold, but I want us to understand why they bought Deron Bland off of the injury reserve. They brought him off of injury reserve because it was the last possible day they could leave him on injury reserve without him missing the whole season. There are rules to injury reserve. So you can only be on there for so long. And, if you be on there past that date, then you have to be basically, you have to stay on there an extended period of time, which basically takes you beyond the season. So you're done. So Deron Bland is off of injury reserve, but Deron Bland is not going to be playing more than likely this game. The one that is huge is Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs is more than likely not going to play. And the reason being, Jerry Jones said this morning on 105.3 The Fan, Trayvon Diggs has a calf tear. Trayvon Diggs has a calf tear. Get ready, Cowboy fans. Trayvon Diggs is now going to be a problem for the remainder of the season. Trayvon Diggs will be a problem the remainder of the season. I don't know what's going on with this Cowboys team. I mean, we got all kinds of nonsense going on from the coach to the owner. I mean, we got all kinds of stuff going on. And we've been bitten with the injury bug this season. And I'm hoping that these things are all happening early. As I said, I was saying early on, adversity early will lead to, it'll lead to growth down the road to where we'll be ready to go. But I'm concerned about this. I mean, Jerry Jones has a calf tear. I don't know. I don't know exactly. I don't know what are we dealing with the Cowboys. I just don't know. Freddie, I don't know. I'm starting to. I don't want to go there yet. Freddie, you're going to have to give me about 3 more games. You got to give me 3 more games before I totally go. It's just not the boys' year. But it is shaping up not to be the boys' year at this point. Strategy and less of Dak's arm. Post board. I'm going to talk about that because there's some things that people have been talking about in these interviews about Dak Prescott. And I'm hoping that the Cowboys do not go and try to push Dak Prescott into doing something that I don't think he should be doing right now. And so there's just something going on with this team. It's just something going on with this team. Niecy said time for Jerry to say stop all podcasts and focus on football and conditioning. I think there are 2 people who probably should have already been fired for the Dallas Cowboys. I think the offensive line coach probably should have already been fired. And now we're looking at the strength and conditioning coach, and maybe there are some issues going on with him too. Freddie says, Postboy, and you know that Diggs doesn't have a tear because I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this is one of those things where, I'm going to tell you why I want to hear a little bit more about it. Because what I'm really interested in is which leg is it. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it the Detroit game when Trayvon Diggs went down for a moment, but he came back in the game? I'm very interested to know which leg it is. Because I'm going to tell you guys something about these knee injuries. I'm going to tell you something about these knee injuries, and they're strange. You start messing around with these knee injuries. And players try to compensate, because they don't quite trust that knee yet, or maybe they feel a little bit of pain or whatever the case may be, and they get a little cautious. And then things start happening either to the other leg or the leg that was injured. So who knows? But if we go to the conspiracy side of this, who knows when? It's like all. I don't know. Maybe Jerry's trying to preserve these players if you go to the conspiracy side of it. And then you look at the timing of this whole thing with the Trayvon Diggs and Michael Parsons things on the podcast. I mean, when you look at some of the conspiracy theory side of this stuff, it makes you wonder. I mean, they have a serious affinity for Dan Quinn. They have a very serious affinity for Dan Quinn. Now, I got a problem with the whole Dan Quinn thing. I mean, I think Dan Quinn's a good coach. I think he does some good things. But I got a problem with Dan Quinn because, to me, Dan Quinn has a couple of moral issues. And the one thing that I won't tolerate is it applies to people who are around me. The one thing I can't deal with is dishonesty and immorality. And when you start thinking about, Stephon Gilmore said that Dan Quinn threw that last game. And there are other people who say that Dan Quinn threw that game so that he could get the Washington Commanders job. I got a problem. I mean, if I was a player and I know that Gilly has been around for a minute, and when Gilly says what he said about Dan Quinn, and you're telling me that Dan Quinn threw the game for us, oh, I got a problem with Dan Quinn from that point forward. I don't care how good of a defensive coordinator he is. I got a problem with Dan Quinn from that point forward because they all should be questioning. Why in the world would Dan Quinn change up his entire defense in a playoff game? In a playoff game that you know you got to win that one. You have to win that one. Because if you win that one, man, the momentum that the Cowboys could have gained from that game alone would have just been, it would have just been so helpful for the season. Appreciate you, Roderick, for the super chat. Yeah, them boys ain't looking too good, bro. I mean, man, I'm telling you. There are so many things going on with the Cowboys, man. You don't know if you should believe what your eyes are seeing, or should you go along with the conspiracies? I mean, this is just how crazy this team is this year. I mean, there are so many things going on from the top to the bottom. And the one person to me who seems to be the most steady in all of this, who really, in the grand scheme of things, seem to have the right frame of mind, and I talked about it yesterday. There is only one person on this entire team that does not fit the mold of the owner, and that's Dak Prescott. He's the only one that doesn't fit the mold of the owner. It's like everyone else is playing into the whole media circus. Playing into the media circus, whatever it is that Jerry Jones got going on. I don't know if, I can't tell if Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones are into it or in it together. I was watching something this morning and someone said the same thing that I said. And I've been telling y'all better prepare yourselves. Y'all better prepare yourselves. Y'all keep on thinking Jerry Jones is going to let go of Mike McCarthy. Y'all keep thinking he's going to let, I'm going to believe it when I see it. I'm going to believe it when I see it because Mike McCarthy, in the grand scheme of things, he fits exactly what Jerry likes to do. Jerry Jones gets to say what he wants to say, and Mike McCarthy, he's not going to contradict him very rarely. He'll very rarely contradict him. And so I'm just kind of like, this team right now is in such disarray. I mean, what is really going on with this team? Postboy said, but you still looking. I mean, it's the Dallas Cowboys. I don't have a choice. I mean, I like the team. I like the team. I mean, of course I'm going to keep watching. I'm riding with the Cowboys no matter what. But, I mean, what we're looking at right now, who knows what's really going on? Who knows what's really going on? But I'll tell you this, and I said it yesterday, this team can still win. This team can still win. Do not let people fool you. Some of these games, it's like they're throwing these games. Because you got to tell me, why did Mike McCarthy in the third quarter, it's like he just lost, it's like he just went backwards in time with his creativity, and then he gets to the fourth quarter, and he turns it back on. Oh, Postboy, you weren't talking to me. Okay. Dude, with all due respect, it was clear that Quinn threw that Green Bay game. Why, if you play man-to-man coverage all year, do you switch from why do you switch to zone in the most important game of the year? Man, I'm telling you, Gilmore said it. And I don't know him personally, but why would he lie? This dude has been around the league. He's been on championship teams. This guy knows football. And he flat out said it, and some others said it too. They said he threw that football game. I forgot the running back name. It'll come to me in a moment. But they were asking him about it, and he said Dan Quinn threw that game. He said Dan Quinn threw it. And so that's why, for me, when I hear Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons always trying to give Dan Quinn all this credit, how great he is, but you yourself should know something wasn't right about that game defensively. And you're still singing his praises? I got a problem with that. And I'm going to talk about that here in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to talk about, matter of fact, we got the trade deadline coming up. And I think it's November the 5th, something like that. We'll talk about it on Monday. But I'll tell you this much. If Jerry Jones is really trying to rebuild, and he wants to gain some draft picks. The way that Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons are acting, you got a couple of them right there. We'll delve deeper into that here next week. We'll see what the result of this game is. David J says Dan Quinn sabotages. That's what the consensus is, so I don't understand why they keep singing his praises. Cowboys are now Hollywood, Texas style. That's it. Really. 52 brands. Mike Fisher said it. It's like these guys are busy trying to build brands right now. Mediocrity, dressed up in a tuxedo. I haven't seen this type of self-employed with the Cowboy team. I'm with you. The only one to me that seems to have their head screwed on straight is Dak Prescott. And so Dak Prescott is not only playing against the Atlanta Falcons, based on what Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs did, Dak Prescott is playing against the Atlanta Falcons. Dak Prescott is playing against his own team. Dak Prescott is playing against his coach. Wait, did I forget? He's playing against the media? How does he win? Dak Prescott, man, how does he win? This team right now is just in such disarray. Hurricane Jason, what's going on? He said, do you think we're going to win this game? Yeah, I do. I'll talk about it more at the end, but yes, I do. I do. Because this team is actually better than people are giving it credit for. And one of the biggest problems for this team is all of the noise that's going on around it. And the issue that's going on with the GM and the coach. I don't even know what they have going on. But I can tell you this. If Mike McCarthy, if he just calls a consistent game, Dak Prescott will do the rest. Dak Prescott will do the rest. There is no doubt about it. He'll do the rest. But you gotta give him something to work with. Nancy said playing against his owner and GM. Yeah. He's playing against everybody. Man, this is crazy to me. Man. What's going on, Buddha? This is crazy to me. You're playing against your entire team. It's crazy. And so before we get into the videos, I want to just quickly look at the offensive keys. Y'all chime in. We're not going to do a lot of fancy graphs and all that stuff today. We just got a simple offensive keys. Because with the Dallas Cowboys, I'm realizing something. Do y'all realize that every time we talk about the keys to victory for the Dallas Cowboys, do y'all notice that we're basically on repeat? We're really saying the same thing every single week. We're repeating ourselves on what the Dallas Cowboys should be doing every single week. And so at the end of the day, guys, they're either going to do it or they're not. They are either going to do it or they are not. It's the bottom line. What's going on, Bart? Y'all will lose this game by 10. Well, I got something for that too. We'll talk about that also at the end. Buddha said exactly. Stevie Wonder can see it. And the people that's in Daniel, they're just delusional. Nisi, they have to realize they are a team and work together. This isn't an individual sport. I tell you this, Nisi, I just think Dak Prescott is going to have to find a way to rally these guys on his own. And I'm telling you, with this issue with Trayvon Diggs, and he done went out here and started flapping his gums, and now the 3 and 4 letter networks have picked up on it. I mean, you know what? I'll just be honest with you. When I got a player like that on my team, I don't really care what his doggone skill is. Man, you know what? It might be better you sit it out. Because you're already showing you're not really for the team. You're for yourself. So for me, you know what? Trayvon Diggs not playing, I don't care. I got to get out here and motivate this team. People are giving Dak hell for not running. But Jerry has said he doesn't want him to run. I'm going to get into that. I'm about to get into that, David J. Because I got some theories on that too. The Cowboys defense have no heart except Overshown. Woo, man. Overshown is nice, bro. Overshown is the only person that can tackle. It's sad. And Overshown sometimes misses some tackles. He misses some plays because he's so aggressive. Because he seems to be the only one in heavy pursuit of anybody. Postboy said, and they do the opposite. Oh, yeah. Every single week, don't they, Postboy? Every time we say what they need to do. Facts. Just run the ball. I'm about to get into this. What up, DFW? Hello. Can we talk about the game and not mention Dak? Oh, we're going to talk about Dak. I don't want to be known as a hater for the team I live for. No, we're going to talk about Dak, but not in that way. No, DFW, everything you were saying yesterday, I understood exactly what you were saying. Don't get it twisted, my brother. We're gonna get down on it today. Buddha. Oh, you said denial. I got you. I got you. You can't rally nobody that don't want to be there. Michael Diggs is probably more. Get them out of here. Or we're going to talk about that next week, and depending upon how this game turns out, because let's look at the keys to the game real quick. And we're going to run through these. Y'all help me run through these. Okay. So, I'm on repeat. I've changed up just a tinge, but I'm on repeat. I mean, it's the same thing I said before. The Cowboys have got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. They have got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. They have to. There's no other alternative. They have got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. Not only do you need to get creative with CeeDee Lamb, but let me see. Hold on. Hold on. I'm on my wrong one. Let me get in my bag. Hold on a sec. Let me put this back on the screen. This is where I am right here. Y'all help me out. One, we need to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. Okay, I said that, but we got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. We got to do what we did with CeeDee Lamb in the fourth quarter of the San Francisco game now. See, now we got to start putting all these things together. We got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. We got to keep CeeDee Lamb in motion. We got to find ways to get him a mismatch. If the number one corner is going to line up, now the Falcons' number one cornerback, I think we're going to be able to do some things this week because he doesn't travel. So move CeeDee Lamb. Move CeeDee Lamb. Get him in motion so he's not on that cornerback that does not travel. Put him on the second cornerback. Line him up in the slot. But whatever you do, keep CeeDee Lamb on the move. Keep CeeDee Lamb on the move. This is a must if the Cowboys are going to be able to do something in the passing game. And the the Falcons, they don't have a great passing game. They don't have a great pass rush, and they don't have a great pass defense. So the Cowboys can do some things with them. I mean, they really can. Now, I do believe that the Falcons are going to play the pass specifically on the Cowboys. And that's why you can already see my list, but we're going to go down it. But I got a remedy for that when we start talking about this thing with their offense. But one, you're going to have to get creative with CeeDee Lamb. Get creative with CeeDee Lamb. Y'all tell me what y'all think. We got to get creative with CeeDee Lamb because he's your best receiver. So let's not let's make sure that we don't throw him out, or just let him be a decoy. No, we don't want him just to be a decoy the whole day. We need to get him the ball. We got to get him the ball. Postboy says, oh, yeah, they do the opposite, Nisi. What's going on, Tuck? If Parsons wants to be an Eagle, let him be. Dude acting like a double agent. Tuck, I said it yesterday, and then depending upon how this game turns out, I'm gonna talk about it real heavy next week. I mean, Jerry, you looking for your Herschel Walker trade? The one that put them 90s Cowboys, that made them 90s Cowboys into a dynasty? I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, man, you got your Herschel Walker trade. Stephon Diggs and Micah Parsons is your Herschel Walker trade. There's going to be some great cornerbacks in the draft this year. I mean, great cornerbacks. You already got DeRon Bland. You got DeRon Bland. You got Kalen Carson. Re-signed Jordan Lewis. Go out there and get you another cornerback, man. Matter of fact, get you some draft picks, man. Go in there and get you two. Oh, man, I can't go there right now. Y'all, I can't go there right now. I want to stay focused on this game. But I'm telling you, Revelation, with Jerry, it's no longer about football, but about football, about foosball until his fan base. Well, I said it before. I think the problem with Jerry Jones is he's catering to two fan bases. He's catering to the fan base that hates the Dallas Cowboys because they keep the Dallas Cowboys in the media's face. They keep the Dallas Cowboys in their mouth. I'm talking about the radio stations. I'm talking about the 4 and 3 and 4 letter networks. I mean, all of the Cowboy haters. So he's catering to them. He's catering to them while trying to simultaneously cater to us. But unfortunately, what's going on right now, he's not catering to us. But I do think you watch Jerry Jones work. You watch him work. The offseason is going to tell us everything we need to know about Jerry Jones. Will he re-sign Mike McCarthy? What coach is he going to go get? Because if he's serious, he'll go out there and get Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniel. Because I'm not taking Bill Belichick without Josh McDaniel. I'm not taking him without Josh McDaniel. I'm not doing it. Because Bill Belichick will bring his cheering in. He'll bring in his friends. No, we'll let him bring in Josh McDaniel. Not Bill O'Brien, but Josh McDaniel. And then, Jerry, you pick. And really with Bill Belichick, you don't necessarily have to pick the defensive coordinator because he does a lot with the defense. But the only way you get Bill is with Josh McDaniel. But if you pick Bill, you got to say Bill. Now, I'm going to let you coach. I'm going to let you make all the decisions football-wise. Not personnel, but football-wise. Nisi says secondary has the Xavier Woods mentality. We can't give 100% on every play. Straight up. DFW says, Parsons on my last nerve, wants a huge contract and showing not being a team player. Hey, DFW, you tell me what you think. You looking for your Herschel Walker trade? You want the Herschel Walker trade? There are some teams out there that would give you, I know, a number 1 and a 3 for Micah Parsons. They're going to give you a number 1 and a 3. Really consider taking it. I say consider taking it. I haven't missed one Cowboy game. This is not baseball. You can be great, but bad teammates in football will never be a winner. DFW. Facts. What's going on, Spider-Man? Rico, Hunter, Cook are our only running backs that should be on the field. Zeke trying to get Cowboys history books, breaking meaningless records. Yeah, we're going to get to the running game here in just a second. And some of y'all are talking about the run, so that's what we're let's go next, though. I want to say one more thing about the passing game. Mike McCarthy play calling, let's hand the ball off to the fullback on 3 and 6. Dumb plays, calls costing us. Oh, yes, no doubt. Wade, David J., respectively, they've been trying to run straight ahead all season and have been getting stuffed. Do you know that's the dumb part, David J.? Why are they running straight ahead? That's not the strength of this offensive line. The strength of this offensive line, let's keep it 100. Run the ball towards Zach Martin and Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele ain't blocking with a flip in that passing game. Let him block in the run game. Let Zach Martin block in the run game. Put Ferguson over there. Put Schoonmaker over there. Put a tight end on that side and run the ball to the outside. This is why Dalvin Cook wasn't successful. Dalvin Cook isn't a between the tackles running back. Dalvin Cook is a sweep, quick pitch run to the outside, cut it up running back, and then he gone for the crib. That's not what Dalvin Cook does between the tackles. I think Rico Dowdle would be more successful running outside. I don't understand our philosophy of always trying to run between the tackles, knowing that our interior line is not good. What are we doing? It's just pure hard-headedness. Pure hard-headedness. I don't understand it. I would not send him to the Eagles. I would send them both to the AFC. Woo, yes, facts, Wade Graham. Yes, great observation, definitely. I'm with the trade. I'm sick of them not having their quarterbacks back. He's fighting against the team. Send them somewhere, but get them out of Dallas. I'm telling you, man, and I think that cry is going to get louder if we lose next week. I don't think the team is tanking. I think Jerry is tanking. Yep, for sure. I don't think everybody's in on this. I think Jerry is in on it. And for whatever reason, I think Mike McCarthy crazy self is in on it. My dad and grandfather met Herschel Walker before he made his decision. They swear to this day they had something to do with it. Real story. Man, yes. So I'm going to catch back up in a moment. But I want to go back to the second thing that the Cowboys need to do. The second thing the Cowboys need to do to win this particular game. Hold on a second. I need to make a slight correction here. The second thing that they need to do is, and I talked about this a little bit already, they need plays. They need plays specifically for Jalen Tolbert. They need plays specifically for Jalen Tolbert. This offense has got to stop saying CD first, then everybody else. No, we need to say there are certain plays we're going to run to CD, but then there are other plays that we're going to run specifically for Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert has earned the right to be the wide receiver too. I mean, that's what he's listed as. So let's treat him like that. Let's stop treating him like he's a wide receiver 4 or a wide receiver 3. No, hey, Jalen Tolbert, you got a skill set. Let's use it. We're going to use you specifically on 5 plays. You give him 5 specific plays. You get these for Jalen Tolbert. And you roll with him. Because if you're going to run everything through CD Lamb, and then you're going to expect everybody to be open when everything breaks down, that's not the way you need to do it. You need to call plays specifically to Tolbert, and then let CD Lamb be the alternate. Let CD Lamb be the alternate in some of these plays. And not only Jalen Tolbert, but I'm targeting Jalen Tolbert specifically because I showed y'all the graph yesterday. In tight window throws, Dak Prescott is actually having the most success with Tolbert. He's having the most success with Tolbert. He's 7 for 12, 127 yards, and 1 touchdown. 11 for 47 going to everyone else, including CD Lamb, in tight window throws. So how about this? Run some plays specifically for Tolbert. Not only for Tolbert, can we figure in about 3 to 4 plays for Hunter Lipke? I mean, specific plays. Not him being the third option, or no, not the second, the third, the fourth option. Let's get some specific plays for Hunter Lipke. How about Hunter Lipke on a couple of screens? How about Hunter Lipke on a couple of fake screens? You got to use what you have. And so we got to stop trying to run the entire offense through CD Lamb. Stop doing it. You got to start using all these other people on your team. I mean, you have to. Because if not, if you're talking about CD Lamb, I'm going to tell y'all something about CD Lamb. I'm not hating on CD Lamb. I'm just speaking facts. CD Lamb has shown us one thing. One thing he's been consistent at this season. When the play breaks down, CD Lamb gives up. He done. He's done. Play breaks down, CD Lamb is done. He's not going to do all that running around. He's not going to try to get open. You throw a bad ball, he's not going to try to contest it. He's not going to try to knock it down. If you don't get CD Lamb exactly what CD Lamb wants, CD Lamb is done. You can't run this offense through CD Lamb. You can't do it. If you're going to run this offense through CD Lamb, you're going to have a hard time beating not only the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to have a hard time beating anybody the remainder of this season. The remainder of this season. Spider-Man says leaders don't say they're leaders, they say they are. They show they are. Parsons. Yes. Tired Cowboy fan. Jerry said going into the year, Dak's going to have to do more with less. This is exactly what he wanted. He said it. I mean, you're exactly right. He said it when Stephen A. Smith interviewed him. He said it. But I think there's more to that statement. I think the other part of that statement is Jerry is also saying, but I'm also cleaning out the crib. Man, I'm cleaning this thing out. I'm cleaning it out. Tuck says Jerry is incapable of letting coach do their job. He's a dictator, prideful individual and his son. It's Jerry's world. That's why he let go of Jimmy. It couldn't be Jerry's world with Jimmy in it. Because Jimmy is also a very intimidating figure. So it couldn't be Jerry's world. So he had to do it. But if he wants to win, and if he want to bring Belichick in here, ain't no way Belichick gonna come in here like Parcells did. There's no way. Martin's even said he likes run blocking better. David, you ask any, I keep saying this, you ask any offensive lineman, what would you rather do? Run blocking or pass blocking? Oh, they're going to tell you run blocking all day long. It's just easier. Because you get to be the dictator. You get the one who fires off. You get the one, you know where you're going. The problem is with pass blocking, especially with a young offensive line. I said it yesterday. Tyler Guyton is suffering from, they dip him out, they go in. They dip him in, they go out. He can't get position. So they're taking advantage of him. But if you run the ball, he gets to know where he's going. So now he can bull rush the opponent. He knows the assignment. But when you're blocking for the pass, I mean, you really don't know the assignment. I mean, you don't really know what move he's going to put on you. Is he going to dip you in, dip you out? Is he going to dip his shoulder? I mean, what is he going to do? Is he going to run a stunt? I mean, what's going on? It's so much harder to pass block. It's so much harder to pass block. And so they're going to have to figure out something. And that's going to lead me to the next thing I'm going to tell you. This makes me wonder if Mike is really watching film. He watching film, all right. Mike said, I'm out of this thing, man. I'm out of this thing. But you know what? I'm wondering if the pressure is mounting on them, that they're going to have to do something this week. Yes, Tuck, get some heart. Get some heart. Appreciate your channel with straight raw mega facts. Appreciate your Buddha. Hey, I'm telling you, watch this. Let me tell you the next part. I've been saying since last year to trade them to the worst team. Nixie said trade them to the worst team in the NFL. You know what? Unlike Dak, they don't have no trade clause. I mean, Jerry, if you really want to redo this team, you got an opportunity right now. I mean, you've already committed to your quarterback. You've already committed to CD Lamb to a degree. And I don't even think CD Lamb is a full commitment because you can easily trade him. But your quarterback, you're not trading him. So if you really want to rebuild this team, you got an opportunity. You got an opportunity that people rarely get. You got an opportunity. Yep. Play with attitude and aggression. I agree with that about Tolbert. Yeah, we gotta get this dude some plays, man. I wish Brandon Cooks didn't get injured. He definitely had separation in the Brown games. I still feel B. Cooks has a lot left in the tank. Boy, let me tell you something, Buddha. I'm missing Brandon Cooks. I didn't think I'd miss Brandon Cooks. I think this team is missing Brandon Cooks because he is another threat. And I think now when you get Brandon Cooks, Tolbert, and you got CD Lamb, I mean, if you get them on the same page, I mean, you got a pretty good something going. David says he shouldn't have to make tight window throws. That's a stat I don't want to see him excel in. Watch this. I'm about to show you how to get rid of that. And then we're going to come back to the comments. Y'all know the next thing the Cowboys need to do to win this game? The Cowboys have to stay committed to the run. You have to stay committed to the run. It don't matter if you're getting 0 yards. Run the ball. I don't care if you're getting 0 yards. Run the ball. Don't let teams, don't be so predictable so teams can guess exactly what you're doing. Y'all help me out. Can y'all tell me what the read option is for if the quarterback is never going to really run the ball? Take that nonsense out. Take it out. What? Y'all tell me. What are the Dallas Cowboys running the read option for? What are you running it for? Who are you fooling? Who are you fooling, Dallas? What are you running that for? It's just idiotic. Number 2, you're not running the ball. Can somebody explain to me what is the play action for? Why are the Cowboys still running play action and they're not committed to the run? I mean, man, if you're not going to be committed to the run, why don't you just keep Dak Prescott in the shotgun the whole game? Just keep him in the shotgun. It'll protect him better. He won't have to drop back. Just keep him in the shotgun. It makes more sense to keep Dak in the shotgun than to run play action when you know you're not going to run, and the read option when we know Dak not going to take the option. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're just, I mean, we're literally out here. It's like we're just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. What are we doing? It just goes to show you. I mean, it's like we're not even really serious about some of this stuff we're doing. Back in the 70s, boy, they don't understand Tony Hill, boy. Tony Hill was the man. Tony Hill was bigger, faster than Drew Pearson, and dare I say better. But Hill took a backseat to Drew because he knew it was best for the team because Drew was a man. Well, we saw how Drew acted when he didn't get that jacket that year. Yeah, Tony Hill was a beast. Parsons is not a leader. Nope. A leader would never say he shouldn't have to motivate grown men. Not only that, a leader wouldn't be running a podcast. He'd be too focused on the game. I'm going to show you that Dak Prescott is still saying the same thing about some of these players. I'm going to show you what he's talking about. How did Bill Parcells survive? You saw, he gave up. He gave up. He couldn't do it no more. He gave up. Let Chris Carter kid play. I know he fumbled once, but he has speed and hands. Okay, Chris Carter's kid is on the Cowboys? Boy, you done got me with something, Wade. I didn't even know he was on the Cowboys. His last name Carter? Okay, I'll have to look that up. Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, no. I know what you're saying. I have been screaming for Ryan Flanoy. I believe he is the next Dez Bryant if they play the cards right with him. That kid is 4.40. Oh, man. I don't even understand why he on the bench. There's no way Jalen Brooks is starting over him. There's no way. I'm not letting Jalen Brooks nor Kevontae Turpin start over Ryan Flanoy. There's no way. That don't even make sense, Wade. That don't even make sense. Nisi, now this is a great idea. You definitely right. I feel bad for Guyton, to be honest. Guyton got thrown into the fire. I mean, he was a right tackle in college. Now, they say he switched because of something with the quarterback being left-handed. That's why he switched. And they say he's actually natural where he is. I'm with you, David. I don't know. That's a hard position to play. I mean, that left tackle is a very hard position to play, and it just makes me wonder if he's in the right position. I think by next year he'll be fine, but right now, man, he's getting towed up over there. Oh, Nisi, we'll get major picks. I mean, we'll get major picks with Michael Parsons. I mean, you could actually probably parlay a first and third this year, and then they probably even give you a second the following season. This is your Herschel Walker trade if you want it. But you know what my problem is, Nisi? I think Jerry likes all this dumb stuff that Michael Parsons is doing. I think he likes it. You notice he's not saying anything about it. I think he likes it. So he probably won't do it. I agree, Nisi. Yeah, big catches for sure. Absolutely correct on that statement. Yes. I'm beginning to think the Joneses are blowing this year up. Who we got is all we getting. Now, I will say this, and I'm not gonna hold my breath. But Jerry Jones said on the Fan this morning, if I'm not mistaken, the Cowboys will be looking at the trade deadline to see if there's some meat on the bones. Meat on the bone. Now, translation, he wants to see what's going to be the fallout, who's going to get traded, and then what's left. Because when you say meat on the bone to me, that means you're going to wait till everybody else eat. I mean, you're going to wait till everybody else eat, and then you're going to go get that bone and say there's still some meat on it. So Jerry is basically saying that he is going to see if there's anybody left in free agency. Use the whole field in the run game, sideline to sideline, make the opponent defend the whole field. Spider-Man, this was our worst problem. I do not understand this whole philosophy. Mike McCarthy said our philosophy is running between the tackles. It's a dumb philosophy. It's not working. The line can't protect. I've seen Dak 3-step drops and get hit. David, now, it sounds like you're agreeing with what I'm saying. Why are we doing play action? Why are we doing the read option? Keep Dak Prescott. If you're not going to run the ball, just put him in the shotgun the whole game. Forget lining him up under center. Just running shotgun the whole game. You'll be fine. Play action works only if you can run the ball. Just keep him in the shotgun. Just like Kyler Murray, stay in the shotgun. 100%. Tuck says, hindsight is 2020. I kind of wish Dak didn't sign. Put him in a solid system. He would succeed on a higher level. Then all the Dak haters would look crazy with the Trigger Trey at the helm. Well, you know what? I think they thought they were going to do that until Trigger Trey showed them that he wasn't Trigger Trey. Yep, exactly right. He meant Flournoy. Yes, sir. I caught on, Carl. Dak got thirsty and selfish for the money back and created the soul soldier syndrome. The teammates didn't respect Dak and know he doesn't care for them. I'm going to disagree with you there, H. I appreciate what you're saying, but I'm going to disagree with you. Because you're buying into the lies of the media. You're buying into the lies of Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. The salary cap is not the reason why. Dak's contract is not the reason why the Dallas Cowboys can't get players. They're sitting with $23 million in cap space right now, and they refuse to do anything with it. They could flip a switch right now on Trayvon Diggs' contract, I think, and get an extra $15 to $20 million. Nobody told them to wait until the last quarterback was signed. To sign Dak Prescott, you could have saved another $8 to $10 million. And I dare say Dak Prescott probably would have gave the Cowboys a discount had they not paraded Trey Lance all up in through the house, trying to show everybody that Trey Lance going to be the Dak Prescott replacement. And so if Dak don't want to play ball, then we'll just sign Trey Lance. Had they not done all those things, they'd have had plenty of money under the cap. They signed CeeDee Lamb way too late. They could have signed CeeDee Lamb last year. They could have made it. They could have signed him before Amon-Ra St. Brown got signed. They didn't do it. The cap is on the Joneses, not Dak Prescott. And all those players, they're not done. They're not done. Those players, they do respect Dak Prescott. You know why they respect Dak Prescott? Because he got the bag. Because Dak is saying something that people don't understand. Tom Brady did a lot of these teams a disservice. Y'all got to understand something about these contracts. These contracts, we're reading them wrong. You think these contracts are what they're saying on the surface. A lot of times these contracts aren't what they're saying on the surface. Now, Dak did get that fully guaranteed $230 million, if I'm not mistaken. But when you think about the fact of what they're going to give up in taxes, the fact that they're out here putting their life on the line, putting their health on the line. Meanwhile, the owners are getting money hand over fist, all kinds of ways. I'm sorry, these players need to be getting paid. Football is the most brutal sport out of all of them, and they don't have guaranteed contracts. They should be fighting for guaranteed contracts rather than less practices. No, these players, no, it's not the contract that Dak signed. It's not the contract. Because if it is, I've already brought this up. I'm not going to get off on a tangent. Well, you got to tell me how the Detroit Lions are doing it. You got to tell me how the Philadelphia Eagles are doing it. You got to tell me, you can go down the line, team after team. How are they doing it? How are the Cincinnati Bengals doing it? How are the Miami Dolphins doing it? They got top. I mean, you look at the Miami Dolphins team, they're way more loaded than the Cowboys. He only got $8 million less than Dak Prescott. How is he doing it? They're going to extend Tyreek Hill, I'm pretty sure. No, it's the Joneses. It's the Joneses. They fool everybody with this nonsense of the cap and all. The cap. No, if you don't know how to do it, get you a capologist. It's dumb. Everybody else is doing it. They're the ones who saying they can't do it. No, the one he is mentoring. Yes, I caught you, Wade. I think Dak can win a Super Bowl. No doubt. You notice how quickly Jerry signed Dak after he watched Trey play in those preseason games. Man, it was funny. McCarthy, I'm kind of with you, Aaron Wesley. McCarthy is an idiot. And, well, I don't know. Okay, I thought you said something else. Aaron, I'm going to tell you something, man. I've been saying this. I just don't think Mike McCarthy's dumb as we think he is. He's either absolutely dumb or this is a plan. That's all I can tell you. I don't even like when people call Mozzie trash. To me, this is his first year, and that position takes time to process. DFW, Mozzie has been playing pretty good. I think he's been playing pretty good. And I think the more he plays, the better he gets. And yes, that is a very hard position to play. Not to mention Dan Quinn likes these smaller players, had him lose weight, got him off of his game, and now he's getting back into his own football shape. Oh, I'm cool with Mozzie. Yeah, you keep Mozzie. Dak was going to get the bag regardless, no doubt, somewhere else. And I'm not a Dak biggest fan, just really. He was. Dak was going to get the bag. And Dak put him in a headlock. Dak had him in a no-trade clause. They didn't want to take those huge cap hits. I mean, there's so many different variables that went into it. But at the end of the day, Dak Prescott's a good quarterback. I mean, who were you going to sign? You should have just signed Cooper and said, I apologize. Boy, I wish we still had Amari Cooper. Okay, let me get into this next part. Here. I said the Cowboys need to stay committed to the run, right? I want you to see this next part. The Cowboys need to finally say, Rico Dowdle, you're the starter. You're the starter, Rico Dowdle. You're the starter. You're going to run the ball 25 times. Dak Prescott needs to stop throwing the ball 42 times. Dak Prescott needs to stop throwing the ball 35 times, 30 times. That's way too many. One, that's telling us something. If Dak is throwing the ball 42 times, that means that we're in a shootout. We don't want to be in a shootout. If Dak is throwing the ball 42 times, that's meaning you're playing from behind. We don't want to be playing from behind. If Dak is throwing the ball 42 times, that means that you're no longer running the ball. You're just depending solely upon Dak Prescott's arm. That is a recipe for disaster. You know why? Because if you put that ball in the air 42 times, that's 42 times someone has an opportunity at an interception. No. You got to let Dak do what Dak does best. You got to get him some running game so he can work off the play action. If you let Dak work off the play action, Dak will absolutely eat against every single team in this league. He's a play action quarterback. It is what it is. And guess what, y'all? Do y'all know that most quarterbacks in the league are play action quarterbacks? I mean, sometimes we got to be careful. We're acting like this stuff is specific to Dak Prescott. Do y'all know that every quarterback in the league is actually better with a running game? There's a reason why Kansas City went and got Patrick Mahomes, a running game and a defense. There's a reason why they did that. There's a reason why all of these teams, you'll notice, what did the Baltimore Ravens do? They have a running quarterback. What they do? They went and got a running back. And I mean, I'm talking about a serious running back. It makes every quarterback better, period. Because when people can't key in on that quarterback, they have to be aware of the run and the pass. It keeps them guessing. It buys time. It gets separation for the wide receivers. We don't have no separation for the wide receivers because we can't run the ball. This ain't just the fact that these guys are sorry. If I'm gonna play the Dallas Cowboys and I'm a cornerback, man, we ain't gotta worry about the run. All we have to do is blanket these wide receivers. That's all we have to do. So if you're gonna let me play like that, my success rate against the Dallas Cowboys, even if I'm an average cornerback, it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be spectacular. DFW, yeah, the O-line is an issue. But you know why they're an issue? All you have them doing is pass blocking. You can't expect a young offensive line to pass block 80% of the time, 70% of the time. You got to get them some confidence going. Let them blow some people off the ball. Let them blow some people off the ball with the run game. Cowboys got to stay committed to this run. Stay committed to the run. Commit to Rico Dowdle. Let him be the running back. He's the best running back on the team. 4.1 yards a carry. Let him be the running back. Give it to him 25 times. If he just gets an average of 4 yards a carry, you got your 100-yard rusher. Spell him with Dalvin Cook. Give Dalvin Cook about 12 to 15 touches this time. Outside pitches, outside runs. Let him run to his strengths. Stop all this running between the tackles. Commit to running the ball. Sweep that thing left. Sweep it right. Jet sweeps, Kevontae Turpin. Get these guys the ball, man. Run the ball. You're going to make life easier for everybody because I got a problem. I don't have a problem with Dak Prescott running the ball. I want to make sure I bring this up. I don't have a problem with Dak Prescott running the football. Everybody wants Dak Prescott to run the football. Y'all know why they want Dak Prescott to run the football? Because the run game trash. Y'all know why the run game trash? Not because the running game is trash, but because we won't stay committed to the run game. There is no way. This team can run more than 74 yards. They showed us against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We gave that ball 20 times to Rico Dowdle, and he got 87 yards. And between all of the other runners, the Cowboys had a 100-yard running game. You can't tell me this team can't run for 100 yards. And they did it against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that team is no slouch. We're just not doing it. We're just not doing it. To run between the tackles, you need, yes, we can't run between the tackles. Run outside. Run outside. I'm telling us. Yes, the salary cap thing, that's old news. That's just fools. That's just the media talking. That's Jerry Jones. The offense isn't creative. Our receivers run the same old routes. Mike McCarthy, you got to get creative, man. Commit to the run. Commit to the run. Get creative when you pass the ball. Get us some of these rub routes. Run the ball. You can get play action. Run the ball. You can get separation. You can get everything you're wanting if you run the ball. And stop saying we need to commit. No, that's not we. We already committed. It's not we the fan base. We already know what you need to do. It's like we know better than you know. To run the yes. Boy, Eric Dickerson was crazy. You need an Eric Dickerson type running back. This old line is built for a bounce it out type running back. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. And I think Rico Dowdle is a better bounce it out running back. And if you're going to let Dalvin Cook do his thing, he's going to have to do the same thing. That's what he does. Jerry never did that to Romo, and I digress. Pile of tricks. Boy, I'm telling you, man, if Dak would have to taken the cut, Jerry still would not have fortified that team. I 100% agree, Tuck. I don't care if Dak Prescott would have said he playing for $10 million. Jerry still wouldn't have spent that money where it needs to be spent. Because it don't need to be spent on draft picks. It needs to be spent on free agency. And he's not going to do it. The Joneses are lying to us when they say they can't afford a player. 1,000% facts. Nisi says, does the money sitting there on the cap grows interest? That money, Nisi, it is not gaining interest. It is not gaining interest. They got the money to do something right now. They passed on Devontae Adams. They could have got Devontae Adams. They could have got Amari Cooper. Y'all notice who playing for the New York Jets? Did y'all see who was on the New York Jets? It's amazing to me that the New York Jets signed Devontae Adams and Hassan Reddick was on the field last night. Cowboys could have got Hassan Reddick to help the defense out. They just don't want to do anything. Yep, Jerry's blowing this up, no doubt. No doubt. Tom Brady still got his money on the back end. Don't be fooled. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look at that contract he got with that TV thing. I disagree. Quarterbacks should not be paid this much. You know what? I think that's a whole different discussion because I see where you're not even talking about Dak. You're talking about quarterbacks in general. Now, DFW, we're going to wake up, Lord willing, in 2-3 years tops. Jerry Jones is already working on this behind the scenes. Because y'all remember something. There's a quarterback by the name of Sam Bradford. I think his name is Sam Bradford. It was after he got that huge contract as a rookie. After Sam Bradford, if I'm not mistaken, they put in the rookie salary cap. After Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford made so much money in this league. It's robbery. It's robbery what Sam Bradford got in this league. And Sam Bradford, I think his name is Sam Bradford. Oh, he was really good. But he couldn't stay healthy. And he got all that money guaranteed. All of it. So they put in a rookie wage scale. So that's why now you don't see rookie quarterbacks in particular because it was the quarterbacks who were really cleaning up. The quarterbacks were coming in making astronomical money. Well, they stopped them. We're going to wake up in 2 or 3 years because the grumbling that they've been whispering and the rumblings are already going. They're talking about a quarterback salary cap. They're talking about a quarterback salary cap because Dak signed that $60 million deal. And they're starting to say now, people are saying that if we don't stop this, we're going to wake up in 2 or 3 years and quarterbacks are going to be making $70, $80, $90 million. They're going to be eating up tremendous parts of people's cap. So watch what I tell you. Watch what I tell you. There will be a quarterback salary cap. Because that position is different. That position is different. So they're going to get that. They're going to come up with a salary cap for him. So you watch what I tell you. Jerry will make you think he's the only one with a cap. Everyone else makes it work. Way better than him. Way better than him. Nobody told Jerry Jones to put Dak Prescott. Nobody told Jerry Jones to put Dak Prescott on not one but two franchise tags. Jerry Jones could have got Dak Prescott for Jimmy Garoppolo money. Didn't want to do it. That's on him. This got to be a plan. I'm with you, fan. I'm with you, tired Cowboy fan. But what I seen from Mike Collins plays last season, I know something there. This year, it's like night and day from last year. He Jekyll and Hyde. Pittsburgh game looked like last year. Detroit game, this year. San Francisco game, we got a mix of the Pittsburgh game and the Detroit game. First half, fourth quarter, we got the Pittsburgh game. Third quarter, the Dallas Cowboys were in danger of winning. Detroit game. You know, this got to be planned. It's got to be planned. I'm gonna read a couple more. I'm gonna go back to the thing I'm talking about. I think he's coaching that way to spite Jerry. I mean, you know, there's either something going on between him and Jerry, or there's something going on with him and Jerry. One of the two. I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes. No doubt. I'm with you, David J. The 70 said could have had Amari Cooper for less than $1 million. Yep. Could have got him back. I think Rico can run, but dang, he needs better vision. Let him run outside. Stop trying to run in between the tackles. You let him run outside. You watch what Rico does. Let's talk. You should be the GM for the Cowboys. I don't know about that. But I tell you what, I mean, really, I think all of us could almost be the GM for the Cowboys because we see this stuff. It's simple. I mean, even with Mike McCarthy. I mean, Mike McCarthy could basically consult with us as fans, and we could basically tell him how to beat every team. He just won't do it. He just won't do what he needs to do. I'm with you, Wade. Rico and Hunter could do it. They just got to commit. They just got to commit to running the ball. Run Rico Dowdle 25 times. And let me finish that thought. Run Rico Dowdle 25 times. You let Dalvin Cook get in there about 10 to 12 times. You let Ezekiel Elliott, you fit him in the short yardage runs. You know, hey, Zeke, we need one, we need two. But even that, Zeke, we're going to put you in the passing game. We're going to put you in the screen game. We're going to put you in the block, and then you're going to run out. You're going to be Dak Prescott's safety valve. You can use Zeke in the passing game easy. Easy. Short yardage. Easy. I mean, this is easy work if you just do this stuff right. You just got to do it right. But this is all going to be predicated on staying committed to the run, and not just the run. Because I do agree. Someone said that Ezekiel Elliott has always needed about 10 carries to get warmed up. Well, I say whoever the starting running back is, it needs to be Rico Dowdle. Don't mix in and try to let one run 15, one run 17, one run 12. No. Whoever you're going with, go with him. Let him get heated up. Let him get heated up, because a lot of times these guys, they work off rhythm. Let him get heated up. Feed him. Whoever it is, feed him. Don't hand it to him one time. He gets 8 yards or 6 yards or 5, and then you go away from. No, feed him. Whoever that running back's going to be, let him know. Needs to be ready this week. 25 carries. It's on you. Yep, I'm with you, David. Throwing 40, 60 times is a recipe for disaster. I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. Throwing 40 times is a recipe for disaster. You only do that when you have to. Only when you have to. But you don't do that every single game. That's a recipe for disaster, especially when you only have one, maybe two receivers. They've shut down the seam, so our tight end is getting action. The only way you're going to open up that seam is you're going to have to run that ball. That's the only way you're opening up that seam. You got to make them safeties come down. You got to make them linebackers play closer to the line. You got to make folk come down if you're going to try to get those plays. Cowboys not running the ball. People can just sit back. We know you can't run. We know you can't pass block. We can rush you basically with 4. And we can drop 7 in the coverage. What you going to do with that, Dak? I don't care if you're Patrick Mahomes. It's hard to do something with 7 drop back and pass coverage. You got to get some of these guys to come down. You got to get them to look different. You got to get them to peek in the backfield. You got to help your quarterback. I mean, period. I mean, as much as I like Dak, Dak ain't Dan Marino. There's not many quarterbacks that I've ever seen in my lifetime that I would trust consistently throwing the ball 50 times a game. I like Joe Montana, but Joe Montana has skill players around him. He ain't throwing 50 times a game. I like Patrick Mahomes, not 50 times a game. I love Tom Brady, not 50 times a game. Dan Marino is the only quarterback I've ever seen that I would trust throwing the ball 50 times a game. He's the only one. But I'll say even Dan Marino never made it back to another Super Bowl. So maybe he did need a little bit more than throwing the football. It's part of the football rules. A better run game opens up the pass. This isn't rocket science. And that's why when I'm hearing Mike McCarthy at the podium talking about we need to stay committed to the run. Who is we? Are you not checking the fan base? We're telling you to run the ball. Start the game and hurry up. Set the tempo. Score early and play with the lead. Establish the run. Control the clock and keep the Falcons offense off the field. They have the number 2 O-line. I'm glad you brought that point up because I brought that up early in the week. The one place that Dak Prescott performs the best is in 2-minute offense. Why are we waiting until there's 2 minutes in the second quarter, 2 minutes in the fourth quarter, 3 minutes in the fourth quarter? No. We need to pick certain points in the game to where Dak gets to go Terminator 2-minute mode at least 4 to 6 times a game. Let's not wait until 2 minutes to go in the second quarter because, well, of course, everybody's going to be expecting the 2-minute offense. They're going to put their 2-minute personnel on the field. How about we do it the second drive in the first quarter? How about we do it the first drive if we win the toss? How about we open up the third quarter and say, oh, we about to put the pedal to the metal. We got a 3-point lead. We got a 10-point lead. We about to put this thing out of its misery. Give Dak that 2-minute offense, 4 to 6 drives per game while working the run game in with that 2-minute offense. You got to let him cook. You got to let him cook. They're not letting Dak cook. And I'm sorry, they're putting handcuffs on Dak Prescott. And I think it's by design. They're putting handcuffs on him. There is something nefarious going on with the Cowboys. I hope that I'm wrong. San Francisco said for the past 3 years, they knew we weren't going to commit to the run. You think they just saying the quiet part out loud. Detroit knew it too. You could tell the way Detroit played. They knew we wasn't going to run the ball. They knew it. You got to stay committed to the run. Even when it's not working, it's working. Even when it's not working, it's working. Zeke is the best running back on the team. Feed him. Rico has poor vision. You know what? That's a discussion for another day. I just can't get with Zeke, man. I just can't get with Zeke. I think Zeke is useful, but he can't be my primary back. But hey, to each his own, Jay Recruiter. I feel you on that. They did it in the Niner game. Cooper BB had Fred Warner out of there. Buddha says, Jay Recruiter, go home, Roger. You're David says, Dak needs to run it more. It's a chess thing. If Dak turns into a run threat, it keeps the defense from just dropping back into coverage. Now, I'm going to give you a caveat with that. And then we'll give our last two, and then we'll go to the Dak interview. I'm going to give you a caveat with that, David. I don't want Dak Prescott running the ball for this team because they can't run the ball. I don't want him doing that because that's what people are alluding to. Well, let Dak be the running game. Let Dak contribute to the running game. Let Dak do. No, I don't want Dak doing that. At its current state, I don't want Dak running the ball either until Mike McCarthy commits to running the football. Then I say, Dak, run the ball. Then you can run the read option, Dak, because now there's a real threat of the run, and you can probably get off about 8 to 10 yards before you even see anybody. Yes, if they commit to the run, then Dak can commit to running sometimes. But if they're not going to commit to the run, Dak better not run that ball because he's going to be a dead duck. Dak's not fast enough. He's not agile enough. Dak's not quick enough to be a part or be a major part of the run game or be the running game. And that's what people are asking. They won't run the ball. So if they won't run the ball, how effective can Dak Prescott really be? You got to get Dak space that if he's going to run the ball, you got to make sure that he's got some safe runs. He's got some safe runs. I mean, Dak ain't built like that no more. Dak's not built like that. Yeah, Dak runs when the ball when he and then re-injures his foot. Then what? That's exactly my point. Dak don't need that kind of contact. If Dak's going to run the ball, it has to be very calculated to where we've committed to running to where he's more of it's a trick that, oh, wait, doggone it, he's running rather than playing runs. Dak ain't going to help you there. And I know that's what people are saying, but Dak running the ball isn't this team's problem. It's actually the least of this team's problems. This team's problem is it won't run the ball with the running backs. That's the problem. For whatever reason, the play caller doesn't play to these players' strengths. Said it yesterday, 70s fan. He doesn't. I'm not saying do it every play, but he needs to be a threat. Oh, I agree with you, David. I agree with you. But if in order for him to be a threat, the run must be a threat. Because if the run isn't a threat, Dak ain't going to do nothing for you. He's just not fast enough no more. I mean, he's just not fast enough. And would had another 100 against San Francisco, but stopped running the ball. I'm telling y'all, until I can be proven wrong, if Rico Dowdle is the starting running back against the Detroit Lions, they don't score 47 points. That game is way closer. I believe the Cowboys have an opportunity to win. If Rico Dowdle plays in that San Francisco game and they give him that ball 20 times or 25 times like they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys win that game. I believe the Dallas Cowboys beat the San Francisco 49ers with a decent running game. They didn't even have to have a dominant running game. If it would have been a decent running game, they beat the 49ers. And this week, the Dallas Cowboys have another golden opportunity. If they'll just run the ball, they'll beat the Atlanta Falcons. They'll beat the Atlanta Falcons. I promise you, they'll beat them. Dak can't survive being a guy that doesn't run and expect to beat great defenses. I'm with you, DFW. I'm not saying not to run. Don't run when this team is not committing to the run. He's a sitting dead duck. Dak's not athletic enough. When you watch how Mahomes runs, for example, Mahomes is running on passing plays. He's running when they're in coverage because, one, they've been running the ball. They run the ball real well. Two, they know he's still a threat to throw the ball because they got some decent receivers. I still say they're better than the Cowboys. So Mahomes, everything opens up to where he's got lanes and space. He can run and get out of bounds. I mean, look at these runs that Patrick Mahomes is making. Man, Patrick Mahomes, with the exception of one I think he did a couple of weeks ago, put his shoulder down and knocked that cornerback down. I mean, I think that was a cornerback. Oh, he ought to be ashamed of himself. But Mahomes can typically make a run to where by the time they're turning around, he's already 10, 15 yards down the field. He can slide or he can get out of bounds. Dak, man, I'm telling y'all Dak's just not fast. I mean, we saw when he tried to run for the corner in the Pittsburgh game. They smashed on Dak Prescott and almost had a touchback. Dak tried to stick it out, fumbled the ball. Had that ball hit the pylon, we'd probably been having a different conversation because they'd have lost that game. So Dak Prescott, I'm not opposed to Dak Prescott running. But people need to understand something. We're not even looking at Dak Prescott of 2 or 3 years ago. He's a lot more streamlined. I mean, and I'm still questioning because people are starting to bring up this thing about his ankle. So I'm kind of wondering what's going on last night. Oh, yeah, Roberto, I watched it. Yeah, Jets won last night. And they look real good. In the words of Vince Lombardi, build a seal here and run it up the alley. Yeah, but and like I said, Dak Prescott, yeah, I say don't run the ball. And I hope Dak don't go out this week trying to prove to everybody he can run the ball because Joe Flacco got more yards rushing than him. The Indianapolis Colts also have a running game. No, do not run that ball until they commit to the run so that you can get some wide open runs. And if things break down and you've been running the ball, Dak can still run the ball because that means that defense is spread out. The cornerbacks, the safeties might be a little bit further down the line. Linebackers may be a little bit backed up trying to cover a pass on a play action now. Now Dak can creep on out that back. He can creep on out. But I'm not running the ball on this team. I'm not running the ball on this team unless Mike McCarthy commits to the run. I'm not doing it. Play me. Wade said, I'll help me go out and run the ball. Rogers said, DFW said, Rogers didn't make that run last night. If Rogers don't make that run last night, they don't win. You know what? I agree with you. But, hey, man, the Jets were wheeling and dealing, bro. The Jets were wheeling and dealing. They were, man. Devontae Adams has added another element to that team. They don't have one wide receiver. They got 2 wide receivers. And the running backs, they're no slouches. And that guy who took over for offensive coordinator, you notice what he's been doing? He's been running the ball. He's been running the ball. And I'll tell you this, DFW, people may not realize something, but Aaron Rodgers is a great runner of the football. He's just older. I guarantee you, Aaron Rodgers would smoke Dak Prescott in a 40. Would absolutely smoke him even coming off an Achilles. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, man, I'm telling y'all something. I'm not going to get off on this, but Aaron Rodgers is really a special quarterback. He just got some mentality issues going on with him. You know, he's a little bit cocky and arrogant. Man, let me tell you something. Man, I was watching Aaron Rodgers last night. Aaron Rodgers throws one of the best balls I've seen of any quarterback. Dan Marino was a great thrower of the ball. Man, Aaron Rodgers throws some passes. Man, Aaron Rodgers was throwing some passes last night that had me just in awe. The one he threw to the kid on the crossing route, and he caught it with one hand. Aaron Rodgers, when you watch his release, it's just so quick. Man, Aaron Rodgers put that ball in a place where only person that could get it is the wide receiver. Aaron Rodgers is different. That team shouldn't be 3-5. Devontae Adams is going to help that team go on the run, but I digress. Dak Prescott is not Aaron Rodgers, DFW. Aaron Rodgers is way quicker and faster than Dak Prescott, man. But I'm with you. Dak can, should run, but don't do it until this team commits. Because you got to realize Aaron Rodgers can make that run because his wide receivers are good enough to take those cornerbacks down the field. He can make that run because they've been running the football or whatever the case may be. They've been mixing it up. They've been doing things to where he can sneak out of that backfield and get those yards they need. So this team is going to have to get more creative in order for Dak Prescott to start running the ball. Jerry will forever talk about everyone needs to get a piece of the pie. Shaking my head. Ignorant narrative. I'm with you. I'm with you. Yep. Played for the Rams. Give it 2 years. 2 franchise tags and still don't do nothing with the team, but all that cap space years ago. So why you think years later he's going to change? Nope. He's going to do the same thing. That's a problem. We like to run it in between the tackles. Maurice, I don't understand that philosophy. It's actually our weakest point is the interior. Our interior offensive line and our interior defensive line are not where they need to be. They are not where they need to be. Now, our interior defensive line has gotten a little bit better. And for whatever reason, teams are just running crazy on us running outside runs. But when you look at our offense, man, we're terrible. I mean, we're terrible, and I don't understand. It's like, why do you keep beating your head against the wall? How about trying some outside runs? Gee, I'm telling you, Jerry didn't want to admit that many of y'all YouTubers know more than him. That's why the Fan and some of these 3- and 4-letter networks, they hate YouTubers. Because we're not being paid by whoever's paying folks to say what they say. We're not doing that. We're just trying to be honest. Marino is the greatest passer. He was passing in the 80s as if he played today. Marino would train, man, that dude there, he could play in any era. Man, that dude was a great passer of the ball. And I'm gonna tell you, man, Aaron Rodgers is a close second. That boy Aaron Rodgers, man, when that dude get in his bag, woo, man, that dude can spin it, man. That dude can spin it. Run the slant like Jerry Rice used to do. Man, that boy Jerry Rice was from a different cloth. Tired Cowboys fan says it killed me when Mike say we need to commit to running the game. Like he not the one out. I still laugh when he be talking about we. I'm like, who is we? Wait, who is we? Are you fighting with Jerry? Because the rest of us, I'm sure. The rest of us, man, we ain't saying you should run the ball. When they go to 2 minutes is when they see the real Dak. And I'm telling you, Rick, because Dak isn't trying to do all this processing of information. You know, he's not having to deal with all that stuff. He just gets to play football. He just gets to play football. He gets to make all of the decisions. He gets to do what he wants to do. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him cook. Nisi says, you, Mike. Commit to the run and play action. Know your quarterback strengths. I'm telling you, Nisi, if he would just run the ball, and if he runs the ball, people won't have to talk about Dak Prescott not running. Because if he run the ball, Then he sets up the play action, and then now they're reacting, having to run back in the pass coverage. And then guess what? Dak can sneak out as they run back. By the time they look back, Dak gone. By the time they look back, Dak scooting out of bounds. Anybody see C.J. Stroud last night? I mean, of course, he's way faster than Dak Prescott. But Dak can still do some of those things. He's not as fast as he used to be. He can still do it. But you got to run the ball. And we got to play the third quarter and score. We got to have a plan for the third quarter. If I'm the coach, I know that's my weakness. I got to have a show enough plan for the third quarter. And Spider-Man, you mentioned this whole thing about 2-minute offense. Maybe the third quarter is when you open it up. Maybe the third quarter say, hold on, this team gets in a rut in the third quarter. We got to get this team woke up. We got to wake this team up so they're not sitting over here. They done come out of the locker room. They done ate a Snickers bar or a banana and drank some water. Everybody's kind of lax. No, let's get up. 2-minute offense. Let's go. Let's go. We're going down. We're scoring. Let's go. You got to get them up in that third quarter because that seems to be their Achilles heel. What's up, Dan? Hey, cuz, what's up? Cowboys Nation, what's good? What's going on? Aaron says our backs was cooking against San Francisco. Boy, could you imagine I'm telling y'all like what Zeke did. Rico Dowdle would have been in that game. Man, I'm telling y'all. I'm not talking about design run plays. Okay, I got you. He has to trust his instincts and tuck and run when he has it. Yes, and I agree with you. And DFW is, I think he's probably on them same lines. But I think that opens up if they'll run that ball. Because Dak will see some of those linebackers and cornerbacks with their backs turned, and he won't be so afraid. Because I'm telling you, Dak is in preservation mode. Even Jerry said he didn't want him running. So it seems like that's been a conversation. Yep, run the ball. Facts. You know, I think that's what's going on with Dak too. People are understanding that I think that just based on the radio interview that Jerry gave, this is a conversation. I'm telling y'all. We're not understanding some of these conversations, but if you listen to what these guys say in these interviews, I think they're talking, this is what's being talked about in the back room. I think it's been a conversation. Dak, don't run. Don't run, Dak. Jimmy Johnson has advised Jerry to pay Dak and CD and draft well. Don't worry about how this year play out. Dallas will be a force to reckon with in 25. You know what? I'm thinking that this is kind of the plan, and that this year is just, okay, we win, we don't. You know, it is what it is. But I think this team should really focus on winning and not play into that stuff. Yep, like he got hurt, foot injury, and ankle. Yeah, Dak's going to have to be very careful whatever he does. His speed was fine last year. What happened between then and now? You know, I'm wondering, Ratio. I'm wondering. There's been some people talking about they think there's maybe something with his ankle, but, you know, we'll see. Patrick Mahomes knows what he's doing. Oh, yeah, I give it to him. Pat's the man. Jerry's an example of an absolute power corrupts absolutely every single time. Something is rotten in Dallas. I've been saying it, Tuck. Nancy says Dak has a dad body now. That's why he's slow. Stop it. Stop it, DC. Have you seen Dak with his shirt off? Dak's been eating right. He's been taking care of his body. Yeah, he's been taking care of his body. I just wonder, it might not be that I think there's a conversation going on, Nisi, just based on what Jerry Jones saying. That don't run the ball, Dak. Pick and choose when to run. And I think because Dak got a lot of pride, don't get it twisted. He got a lot of pride. I think you may see Dak Prescott run this week. I just hope he don't do it too much. You said that Jason Garrett screwed us over at the Senior Bowl getting Dak Prescott. Jason Garrett should be regretting it. Oh, no, I don't think he screwed us over. I think that Dak was a good pick. I mean, I've never regretted Dak Prescott. I think he's a great pick. You think if Jason Garrett not getting Dak Prescott a Senior Bowl edition, who would he have gotten? Oh, no, I like the Dak Prescott pick. Because, see, you got to realize something. Dak Prescott wasn't the plan. And that's why so many folk in Dallas, they don't want to admit it. There are so many folk in Dallas. They hate Dak Prescott just based on the fact that he took Tony Romo's spot. Dak took his spot. Dak played so well. Jerry Jones wanted to put Dak back out there, but Jason Garrett fought him over it. And I think Stephen Jones joined in and fought him. He was like, no, we're winning, man. I mean, there's no way we can put Romo back in. And that's why when Romo, because there was so much controversy around the Romo situation, because Romo was wanting he wanted a quarterback competition. And they told him no. Told him no. And right after that, Romo came out with that meritocracy speech. And at the time, Romo was a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. The problem is he wasn't playing better quarterback than Dak Prescott because of where they were by the time Tony Romo got healthy. It's too late, Tony. The chemistry is going out. I mean, you don't want to break that chemistry up. And so, I like what they did in that rookie season. But sometimes I wonder what would Tony Romo have done with Ezekiel Elliott had he stayed healthy. I mean, we got to remember, man, Tony Romo had came off of a crazy season the season before when they cheated him on the catch. Tony Romo was in his bag, man. It was literally the best we had seen Tony Romo play. Tony Romo was in his bag, man. Tony Romo was in his bag. Problem with Tony Romo is he had a rickety body. He had a raggedy, rickety body. And so they probably shouldn't have had him playing in the preseason. Played him in the preseason, broke the tailbone, and the rest is history. The rest is history. I mean, Dak just outperformed. I mean, it is what it is. And that's why football is the greatest, it's the greatest sport of every sport in the world. Because of the competition. It's the greatest sport in the world. Now, Jerry getting on my nerves because sometimes he spoils it by not allowing sometimes the best player to be on the team with politics. But football, for the most part, was the greatest sport in the world. It is. The Jets are a Super Bowl capable team. They are 3-6, though. They'd have to be perfect to make the playoffs from here on out. You know what? If they would have got Devontae Adams about 3 games earlier, we'd be having a different conversation. They wouldn't be 3-6. They would not be 3-6. Aaron just a little cocky. Yeah, he a little cocky. But that boy got an arm on him, man. What you think about Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs? Let us know. Oh, yeah, we're going to hit that in just a moment. We'll hit that before we get out of here. What's going on, Shenard? Bad route concepts, no doubt. You know what adds to bad route concepts? Not committing to the run. That's like saying Jerry Jones is a little stubborn. Why all of a sudden Mike McCarthy's talking about plays from 30 years ago? Sounds like the boy, Mike like to knock me out of my seat yesterday with that one, Niecy. Man, I was like, man, Mike, you gotta stop, man. You gotta stop. Yeah, I got you. Let's see. McCarthy has a nervous tick that prevents him from emphasizing the ground game. I don't know what's going on with him with this. Unless it's playing. Can you talk about yeah, we're gonna talk about that, Danny. I got you. He gone next year. Yeah, he gone. You think he's going to be gone? Hey, Ratio? I'm trying to prepare y'all. I'm telling you, it won't shock me if Jerry keeps Mike McCarthy and just takes the play calling away from him. It won't shock me. He said in the radio interview 2 days ago, I'm glad Mike McCarthy is here. I'm just saying, y'all got to think fast game really is. Y'all hollering run when he see the chance. Let me see. I like what you're saying here. He's not run first going through his reads, and by the time he sees this reads is dead. He's getting hit. That's why I'm saying, tired for Cowboy fan. They got to commit to running the ball. If they'll commit to running the ball, then Dak can see some of those open run lanes. Because we got some things going. We got a team in disarray. We got them having to play catch up. But if they're just gonna sit back in coverage, well, how is Dak gonna run? If they're playing coverage, the moment he runs out of the backfield, they just run up and meet him. There's no getaway. But if you can loosen them up, if you can get them down the field, if you can do some things differently design-wise, if you can do some things differently, then Dak can do some things. Appreciate that super chat, David. David says, Okay, got to go. Have a great day. Appreciate you. All right, David. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll be back this afternoon around 5 or 6. Mike McCarthy doesn't want to run the ball. I don't think he does either. You know, he had this same problem, Shenard, when he was with the Green Bay Packers. I just need Dak to do some ladder drill. Wade, yeah, he's heavier this year. Yeah, but Dak's looking good. You check his body out. Dak's looking good. Half the Dak haters don't like him because he doesn't look like that he doesn't look like Aikman. And I tell you, they don't like him either because he took Tony Romo's spot. I don't need design run some Jack. Just need to be a little quicker in and out of the pocket. Yeah, I think if they're committed to that run, you'll see Dak doing some things. I think this is true as well. We started winning when Dak went in, and Romo went out. Yeah, it was just too much. There was just nothing he could do. And I'll catch up here in just a moment. I want to get these last two, and then we're going to run to the video. But the last two things that I think the Cowboys need to do, stop the penalties. Stop the penalties, Dallas. And this right here, if there's one thing I'm faulting Dak Prescott for. I know the play designs are terrible. I know the route concepts are terrible. I know we're not committing to the run, y'all. But Dak Prescott has got to stop throwing interceptions. He just got to stop throwing interceptions. Dak has got to start throwing the ball away sometimes. Just throw it away. Throw it away, man. Throw the ball away. Leave the just come back and fight another day. Because it deflates this team when you get a turnover, because this team is not constructed in a manner right now to where it can even afford to get more than 3 to 7 points down. You mess around and get this team 10 points down, man, and they have a hard time staying motivated. Nisi said Romo felt threatened after seeing Dak in preseason. He wanted to show him up. Should have never played. Because one thing we do know, Nisi, no matter how great Dak Prescott played in that preseason, Tony Romo was Jerry's man, and Romo was going to start. Should have never been playing. Aaron said, Mike already on vacation. Let me defend Mike a little bit. He hasn't had a real chance to coach without any interference. Nisi, didn't I say it yesterday? We talking out of both sides of our mouth. We're saying we want Mike McCarthy to do this, but we also know Jerry's in control. We're saying we want Dak to do this, but we also know what Dak is playing with. I mean, it's like we're talking out of both sides of our mouth a lot of times. So it's tough right now with these Cowboys. It really is. I can see that happening, taking the play calling away from Mike. Wade, I'm trying to prepare everybody. Dak Prescott likes Mike McCarthy. I don't think Dak Prescott likes Mike McCarthy play calling anymore, but I think he likes Mike McCarthy. Yep, me too. He's been a good quarterback for a long time. They just gonna have to finally get serious about Dak though and put some players around him. You got to put some players around him. O-line play, yep. And I'm telling you, Shenard, the way we can fix that is run the ball. Run the ball. This offensive line will play way better if you run the ball. I think Jerry keeps McCarthy because Jerry fired Shane Gailey, and Gailey went to Miami and took them to the playoffs, and Jerry fired Phillips, and Phillips went to Denver as the defensive coordinator and won the Super Bowl. He told that story about Wade Phillips, and that's why I'm questioning, will he fire Mike McCarthy? Because Jerry knows he didn't give him a hand. He knows he didn't give him a hand. He knows he's not going to give him anything. So, hey, can you really fire him? I'm telling y'all, prepare yourself. Yes, Nisi, throw the ball away. And CD has already shown you he's not going to. CD has already shown he's not going to help you out if you have a bad ball. He's just not going to do it. CD's not going to do it. Stop the interceptions and stop or slow the opponent down in the third quarter. Yeah, Dak, don't throw no more interceptions, man. Stop it. You're better than that, bro. So I want to show y'all something here. I want to show you this thing about Dak Prescott. Because if you'll listen to these players, especially Dak Prescott will tell you a lot of things. And Dak Prescott, in the last part of this interview, Dak Prescott starts to drop some dimes. Let me cue this up.
Communicator's kind of been the message this week. Getting back to the rushing, and I know it's not a purposeful thing if you're not trying to run, but how crazy is it that you have less?
Y'all hold on just a second. Y'all hold on just a second. I'm queuing this up real quick. Because I had it queued, but it's multiple places in here. I want us to kind of listen to what Dak says. And then we're going to do the Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs thing.
Never assume, never guess. Over communicate has kind of been the message this week. Getting back to the rushing, and I know it's not the message this week.
All right. I want y'all to listen. Let's evaluate the last 5 minutes of the Dak Prescott press conference. And I thought it was very telling, some of the stuff Dak Prescott says. And then there was something that caught Dak Prescott off guard. Watch this. Just watch this. Let's listen to this first question. This first one is Clarence Hill.
Getting back to the rushing, and I know it's not a purposeful thing if you're not trying to run, but how crazy is it that you have less rushing yards than Aaron Rodgers and Andy Dalton and Joe Flacco, who just started?
Dude, you funny. It's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Isn't that just a crazy stat?
It is. A lot of stats are crazy. Yeah, bad.
I think they threw Brady in there in his last year.
I'm just saying, so some of this stuff should just be natural, I guess, from a guy who was a runner in college and has been used his legs so much of his career.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's just not been organic part of your game this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's something that I don't want to say you have to practice it, but you got to kind of put it in your mind in that sense and not necessarily, prepare, I'm going to run. But when I talk about the risk versus reward, getting out here at practice, it's practice. You want to, try to make every throw or, thread the needle, this and that. And it's, at times, that's my point of just putting in my head risk versus reward, creating something else. That one's not there, getting out of the pocket. And then from there, right, defense backs turn. 6 yards adds up, over time. And I'm sure it's the only way those guys are ahead of me. So it's not like they're running the read option.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
It's part of it, too.
Now, did you catch what I said earlier? Dak Prescott is saying what I said earlier. Dak Prescott isn't going to run this ball if they're not going to commit to the run. Because did you hear what he said? See, in order for a quarterback to run the ball, we're talking about an unplanned run. The cornerbacks, the defensive backs, even some of the linebackers, they need to now have their back to the quarterback. See, that's what happened with Aaron Rodgers last night. They had their back to the quarterback so Aaron Rodgers could sneak out of there and run. I mean, you look at even when Patrick Mahomes does it. They got their receivers running down the field. They're playing pass coverage to the point that they get him to a point and then he sees their back turn. Patrick Mahomes is gone. Now, what have we been talking about? What has Troy Aikman said that's wrong with this team? Poor route running, poor route concepts, poor play design. The plays that when you think about, now we're not even running the Texas Coast no more. You remember the Texas Coast last year? That was all the rage during the during the preseason, during training camp. Texas Coast. We're not even running that no more. I mean, Mike McCarthy has basically said, based on his interview yesterday, they're running the West Coast offense from 30 years ago. That West Coast offense, y'all, understand how it's designed. It's designed for quick throws, stop routes, slant routes, fast throws. So if you're playing those routes as a defensive back, you actually are going to hardly ever have your back to the quarterback. You're always facing the quarterback unless I'm playing press coverage. But if I'm playing the Dallas Cowboys, do I really need to play press coverage? They're going to run right to me. They're going to run right to me, and they're going to stop, turn around. Or they're going to do a hitch. Or they're going to do a quick slant. I can just wait on them. So even when the play breaks down, there's nobody really running down the field. They're running across the field. You see very little progression up the field when the play breaks down. And so what starts to happen is, you'll notice if you look at how Dak is, when he does roll out, he's trying to throw on the run. Do you notice there's not a lot of folk down the field? Y'all remember the last play against the San Francisco 49ers? I'm thinking that was Jalen Brooks that ran over there. He was right at the sticks. I mean, he really wasn't that far down the field. And so Dak is saying something. He's weighing out in his mind risk and reward. And based on the plays they're calling right now, Dak would get murdered coming out of that pocket. Dak would get murdered. Look at the film. It's right there. The play design. Dak is saying something, and he's letting people in on. I'm not running the ball because I don't want to get killed. I don't want to get killed. The play design is terrible. And that's why I say sometimes we're talking, like I said, Nisi, we're talking out of both sides of our mouth. We're saying we want one thing, but we know another thing that isn't happening that would make that thing happen. Dak Prescott can't run like Aaron Rodgers ran last night. He can't run like Patrick Mahomes has been running. He can't run like some of these quarterbacks that have gotten more yards than him because our play design is terrible. Go look up the West Coast passing game. It's not a vertical passing game. It's a short passing game. It's designed to where you have super stud wide receivers that when they make those catches, they get up the ball quick, they make those stop routes, they do make their hitches, they quick slant, and they're super studs. Like Jerry Rice and Stallworth were on the San Francisco 49ers where this was perfected. They catch that ball 5 yards. Jerry Rice take that thing to the crib. Jerry Rice take that thing to the crib. Stallworth take that thing to the crib. That's what this is. That's what it's designed for. The West Coast offense is basically like a passing running game. That's what it is. In a sense, it's a passing running game. You're throwing 3 and 4 and 5 yard run, 3 and 4 and 5 yard passes. And so we don't have the super stud wide receivers to even accomplish that. And see, this is where Mike McCarthy, his mind isn't right. Mike McCarthy is running an offense that is built for a superstar team. I mean, where you got literally a wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 1A, a wide receiver 1B. I mean, you don't even have necessarily 2s and 3s. It's made for a super stud, even a super stud running back that when he comes out of the backfield, that like Roger Craig for the San Francisco 49ers, they're going to do major damage. We're not built like that. We're not built like that. And this is why Mike McCarthy is getting exposed on so many different levels. And this is why Dak Prescott isn't running the ball. And Dak's biggest flaw is he trusts his receivers too much. I'm going to give you another one, Tired. I mean, I think the issue is too, I don't even think it's a flaw. He's telling us. And he's going to tell us in this interview. He's not trusting the play calling. That's what Dak is telling us. I'm not trusting the play designs. I'm not going to get killed. The play designs are not right. He's telling us. Did you notice what he said? No, I'm not doing it. Yep, I said it yesterday, Sydney's fan. They drafted Zeke for Romo. Carl says, and gee, this man is not going to allow the team base him as the runner, whereby they will look for him to be that runner. Dak just told us what's going on. Listen to all the words. The backs don't have their back turned to him. So if they are facing him, why is he going to run? Why is he going to run? Quarterbacks run when the backs have their back turned. They run when the linebackers have their back turned. They run when the backers on the other side of the field. When the defensive back's on the other side of the field. Oh, okay, now I can scoot out to the right. So by the time they get to me, I can scoot on out of bounds and I get the first down. I watched C.J. Stroud do it last night at least 5 or 6 times. C.J. Stroud's line is kind of shaky right now. They lined him up in the shotgun quite a bit. And when those receivers ran down the field, he saw the Jets with their back turned. What did Stroud do? Scooted on outside, got a first down. Dak is telling us something. We're arguing against ourselves and we don't even realize it. The poor play design, the poor routes, the poor route running. The defensive backs are never turning their back on Dak Prescott because of the offense we're running. They're always facing Dak Prescott. So if he runs out, it's murder. It's murder. Wade says, it's Martavius Bryant still here. Oh, no, they let him go. Off the practice squad and everything. Yeah, Martavius gone. Call says, yes, he is not Lamar. Lamar is a pure runner. Pure runner. Lamar can run and people be in front of him. He can run and the backs be facing him. He's so fast, he can beat them out of bounds. He's so quick, he can put a move on him. He can juke him and make him miss. Dak ain't going to make you miss. Dak ain't going to make you miss. He's not going to outrun a lot of guys. So until this play design is better, that's what I said. Until this play calling is better, until they commit to the run, until they truly get play action, until they truly get creative and have these guys running down the field. Dak Prescott, don't you dare run. Don't you listen to these people. And it sounds like to me Dak knows what he's doing. That's why I said these guys don't have the back turn. Yeah, is he in Washington? Oh, I wonder, is he on the practice squad tired or is he on the actual roster? I'm telling the 70s fan, let's listen to the next thing Dak Prescott says. Watch this. Let me see if this is the one that I really want to get to. let me say what Tired. You know what, Tired? And this is what I don't want him to do. Dak go try to run through somebody. Exactly. Because he know he can't outrun him. I mean, Dak ain't no small dude. I mean, he's 6'2", 238. I mean, he ain't no small dude. Now, if he get on the cornerback, he can probably run through him. But he get on a safety, linebacker, man, he might get his bell rung. But let's listen to the next thing that he says. Watch this part. Dak is dropping dimes in here if you listen.
Chasing something bigger in the passing game too that you might not notice that I got a lane to run up to get 5 or 6 yards.
You asking or telling me?
Masking.
Yeah, in a sense. I mean, I think it all plays in together. It all plays in together. I mean, I think protection. I think those guys would say, right. We looked and some of those games where they haven't been great. You know what I mean? Those run lanes quite weren't there. And then other games they are. So it's about me being able to play the plays independently, the games independently, and as I said, just putting it in my mind that, yeah, right, first versus certain coverages as well. If I can get out or beat one guy around the edge. Then therefore, yeah, there's a lot of green grass on the other side and positive, just staying ahead of the chains. And so, yeah.
Did you and CD?
Now, y'all listening? Now I want you to catch what Dak said. Are you asking me or telling me? Because Dak is saying something in that particular question. Are you telling me you're seeing better than me? When I'm not only playing the game, I'm studying the film, I'm looking at what I did on that play when I get to the sideline. Are you telling me or are you asking me? And Dak is really giving the same answer, but just in a different way. It don't matter how you slice it. He's saying the same thing. I'm not running the ball because the defensive backs are not their backs are not to me, they're facing me. And there's really not those run lanes there the way that people may think. And I'm sure you could go back and watch the film. There may have been a couple of them there, but the majority of them, they're not there because of this West Coast offense. And if there is a little bit of daylight, they're going to close on Dak Prescott so fast it's going to make your head spin. Dak isn't willing to risk that right now. He's not willing to risk it. And you notice what he said. Sometimes the pass coverage isn't, the blocking isn't that good. Duh. The O-line isn't there. It can't do the pass blocking yet. It just can't do it. The Cowboys have been playing some teams that had some pretty decent pass rushes, some that have been really good. So, man, a lot of that stuff just isn't there. I know what everybody is saying, but it's just not there, especially when you got her in that Giants games. Nope, I wouldn't run. Nope, I'm not running unless it's showing up there. Unless it's showing up there. I'm not doing it. And it's not showing up there. Who's going to be the next host of the Dallas Cowboys? Lincoln Riley or Dion? Danny, I'm trying to prepare y'all, man. Don't be shocked if Mike McCarthy is not the head coach. Don't be shocked. I think what they're going to do, they may bring in an offensive coordinator and take the play calling away. I'm not betting on them getting rid of Mike McCarthy yet. I got to see it. Because I'm telling you, Bill Belichick coming here, that's going to have to be a serious discussion. I'm telling you, Bill Belichick ain't coming here like Bill Parcells. He's not doing it. And he definitely not coming here like Mike McCarthy being a yes man. Bill not doing it. If you're not going to let Bill do it his way, Bill ain't coming. So, and then you got to ask yourself another question, Dan. Who wants to be I'll be honest with y'all. I wouldn't want to be the coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I wouldn't want to be the coach for the Dallas Cowboys. Unless Jerry Jones going to let me put him under contract. That you let me make all the football decisions. All of them. We'll talk about personnel. I get to have a say in the personnel. Free agency. Trades. And you will at least make one free agency move, one major free agency move, and one trade move. Because if you're not doing that, you a dead duck come to the Cowboys. You're a dead duck. Because whoever come to this team, they're going to be working with a lot of young guys. So you got to ask yourself, really, who wants to do that? Unless it's some young guy who wants to make a name for himself. Who's going to want to do it? Oh, yeah, that West Coast offense is out of date, for sure. Stephen Jones likes McCarthy, so he's not going anywhere. I'm just saying, Greg. I think Mike going to be gone, but I think there's a great chance Mike's not gone. I've already said it. Need a young, innovative mind. I'm telling you, Ben Johnson, he put on an audition tape for us, Shenard. That Detroit Lions offensive coordinator, man, he put an audition tape on us, bro. That man had linemen running out for passes. Jerry likes older and experienced or skins on the wall. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to take some negotiating to get Bill Belichick here. Unless Bill Belichick desperate and just want to get paid. And I hope that's not the case. If you give me a choice between Sanders and McCarthy for head coach next year, I'll take McCarthy. I think Deion Sanders would be too much for the Dallas Cowboys. Deion Sanders is my favorite football player of all time. I follow him with the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm watching. I even think Deion Sanders' coaching style. Deion Sanders is more of an old school coach. He want to be in the player's face. And he's already said he can't coach millionaires. You don't want to coach a bunch of grown men who you can't tell nothing. Now, you know, he's dealing with millionaires now, but they're like young men. And not all those players are millionaires. But you're talking about in the NFL, man, most of those guys are millionaires. You're dealing with some serious egos, man. You ain't dealing with their mom and dad no more. You dealing with them. That's it. Yep, Danny. That was the agreement with Jimmy. Jimmy said, no, this is my show. I do everything on the field. That was the agreement when he came. That was the agreement. Jerry had the audacity to tell Jimmy that anybody could win a Super Bowl with this team. It was the worst mistake he ever made. Dak likes Big Mike, plus Big Mike drank beer with Montana and Favre. He knows what he's doing. Jay Recruiter, I'm trying to prepare people, man. I'm trying to prepare. And Steven doesn't need to be in the room when it comes to free agents and trades with Bill. Especially him, man. Especially him. Gonna have to be strong. We'll deal with J and J. Yeah, for real. Going to be strong. We'll deal with Jerry and Steven. For sure. So let me hit you with this next part. They are about to catch. It's not this question. I think it's the question after this one. They are about to catch Dak Prescott off guard with this next question, with the question after this one, I think it is. Listen to this.
You find something in the second half. You seem to connect better in the fourth quarter of that game than probably at any moment all year.
Yeah, I found CD. He did a good job of getting open, running all of his routes hard, no matter where he was, if he was the one or if he was backside. On a concept, loved his intentionality in the game. He kind of said something to me like that during the game, midway through the game, like, yeah, we're back. And that was before, I think, his 2 touchdown drives. So just him even playing with that confidence, communicating that, gives me a lot of confidence. So, yeah.
That's good to hear right there. Now, the proof is going to be in the pudding. Will they continue what they did last week? Because CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott lit it up in that fourth quarter. I want to see them do that in the first and the second quarter and third quarter. I'd like to see that spread out a little bit more in the game. Because if that's spread out in the game and we got a little bit of a running game going and we getting some of these other guys mixed in, Falcons don't have a chance. But listen to this.
We've lost 3 games in a row since 2019 as a starter.
Dyson have engineered a machine to wash hard floors.
Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Y'all ready to watch Dak Prescott be caught off guard? Mike McCarthy is at it again. Mike McCarthy is at it again. And I don't know how to call this. This, to me, is an indictment that continuously shows that Mike McCarthy has a problem with being able to consistently motivate this team and keep this team on task. Listen to this.
You talked last week about the communication being better, and then you guys opened the game with communication breakdowns on early in the drive. And Mike talked today about poor walkthroughs again. I mean, why is this happening?
He said we have poor walkthroughs?
Y'all see the look on Dak Prescott's face? He said we had poor walkthroughs. Now, Dak is a company man. But Dak is caught off guard with this because we had poor walkthroughs. What are you talking about? So he has to retool himself so that he doesn't contradict his coach per se. Just look at this. Dak Prescott, look at the look on his face. This dude is caught by surprise that Mike McCarthy said that they had poor walkthroughs. Let's look at this. Watch this.
Early in the drive, and Mike talked today about poor walkthroughs again. I mean, why is this happening?
He said we have poor walkthroughs?
He said he had a poor walkthrough yesterday.
Y'all see the smirk on Dak's face? Dak said, what? What do you mean we had poor walkthroughs? Poor walkthroughs? Do y'all realize that a walkthrough is what it is? You're literally walking through the plays. So what are we saying? Are we saying that we're walking through, but we don't know the plays? Because there's nothing involved in walking through but walking through the plays. You're not running. You're not going up necessarily against the defense. You're walking through the plays. So how do you have poor walkthroughs? There's either a lack of focus, there's some horse playing, or there's a lack of studying the plays. What is going on with this team that you're even losing in walkthroughs?
Today.
Oh, okay. Communication. To me, it's about, you've got to take this work home. And as much as, leading this building, do what I can, young players, it was poor. I don't know if I'd quite say poor, but it damn sure wasn't to our standard. Damn sure wasn't as good as these last few have been this morning. I'm sure he was alluding to, but it's this game plan that we've created this week, taking it home, and then coming back today. And guys got to study. Guys you got to do some work outside of this. And I don't know if it's having a young team as a leader, try to put my fingerprint on it, help them out, do whatever I can. But guys got to just step up, and I think that's where I think I've alluded to in weeks before about being a pro. That's what being a pro about. It's not just in the time that you're here doing the things that you're asked, but it's making sure that when you leave and you come back, you didn't miss a beat and you did some things to make sure that not only you're better, but this unit's better in that time.
Okay, thanks, Dak.
All right, thank you.
So let's break down a few things that Dak Prescott said that I find to be very revealing. So this team is having problems with walkthroughs. Now, Dak seemed to be a little bit surprised by that. And he kind of recovered, but Dak seemed to be surprised. But I think there's something more nefarious going on. And Dak is saying this over and over and over. Now, did y'all notice what he said about CeeDee Lamb? He made a point to say what? CeeDee Lamb was running his routes hard. He was getting off the ball. CD was where he was supposed to be. I think there's something else being said here too. Dak is talking about, it seems, an overall lack of focus by this team. And I think that this is also a shot at what's going on with Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. Because notice he says that when you're away, when you come back, what are you doing? What did you do? Did you take the work home? Are you studying? All of these different things. And you think about Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. What are they doing? They're out there on the podcast. And I don't have a problem with Micah Parsons' podcast per se. But what I do have a problem with is when you start saying things that affect the team, things that get the team. And someone can say, oh, well, that shouldn't make a team not focused. No, people going on a tour in the Star behind a glass should not make you have a lack of focus. But when you start saying things as a teammate that directly affect the team's morale, the team's mentality, when you start doing those types of things, those are the things that truly distract the team and make them not focus. Now we got the media out there, Stephen A. Smith, we got Cam Newton, we got all of these 3- and 4-letter networks. They're all out there talking about Dak Prescott got left off of Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs' top 10 quarterbacks. I mean, just dumb stuff. And so notice, Dak has been saying this over and over and over. Dak keeps talking about things that people are doing off the field that is affecting their play on the field. Lack of focus. This is even talking about these walkthroughs. And you right on time, Spider-Man. He just covered Mike's butt behind. He covered Mike. I would like to know what Mike is talking about. I mean, you're talking about a walkthrough. Last time I checked, once again, Mike, I don't care what you say. That's under your control. You don't even need to tell the press that kind of stuff. That's stuff you need to be fixing in house, bro. You don't need to be telling the press that. You don't need to be telling the press that. What are you doing? Again, I say motivation should come from within each and every player. I don't, maybe it's because of what I've been in my life, but if I would need someone to motivate me to give 100% effort. Some men need it. They just need it. And I'll tell you this, Freddie, this team needs it. This team needs it bad, obviously. And Dak is noticing that this is deeper than people understand. This team has a lack of focus. They want OT pay. Danny said Mike McCarthy's a Halloween wish. They had bad walkthroughs. I mean, man, you talking about walkthroughs? Man, you losing the game in the walkthroughs. I mean, I can remember being in school, man, and when you had to do stuff and you had to be in line, man, them teachers be like, shut up. Be still. Stop moving. We about to go into this place. We're going to this place. Be focused. I mean, Dak is showing that this coach, man. Nisi says, Dak, stop being nice and call people out direct. Dak says, I wouldn't call it poor. I mean, if it's me, I'd just say, hey, man, I don't know what the heck Mike talk about. Ask Mike. That's what I would say. Ask Mike what he talking about, because I don't know what he talking about, because to me, the walkthrough was fine. I mean, it's walkthroughs, man. It's walkthroughs. I mean, it's walkthroughs. What you want me to say about walkthroughs, man? But like Spider-Man said, he covered Mike's butt. If they build with the stars they currently have, they are building a house on sand. Boy, you just said a mouthful. They building a house on sand, bro. Trade the guys that are about themselves and bring in some players. Dak Prescott, to me, is the only player I'm committed to on this team right now. I'm going to stick with CD because CD, he got some growing to do. But them other ones, nah, I'm not dealing with that stuff no more. My problem is, though, I think Jerry likes that stuff. What's going on, Steve? I think Jerry likes that nonsense. I just think he does. Appreciate you, Steve. I'm telling you, I just think he likes it. I think he likes the nonsense. And that's why he's not saying a word. Because I'm going to tell you this. If that was a coach who had some control, he would be calling Michael Parsons out in the press. Oh, yeah, we had a talk with Michael Parsons and Trayvon Diggs this week. About what? No more podcasting during the season. No more podcasting. It's just not good for the team. It's just not good for the team right now. We got too many other things we need to be focused on. And the one thing we don't need to be focused on is we don't need to be focused on this issue, these podcasts. Because these guys now, they're already going to be asking them questions about this dumb Trayvon Diggs and Michael Parsons thing. Jay Recruiter says injury report just came out. Bland and Michael ruled out. I knew it. That's why I had him in red, Jay Recruiter. I knew it. Deron Bland, and I will not be surprised if Trayvon Diggs is a game time decision and he don't play. I will not be surprised. Okay, here, let me see something real quick. I'm going to X because we're going to close out with the Trayvon Diggs thing, the Michael Parsons, Trayvon Diggs thing. I want to talk about that for a moment. But I have breaking news. Fish Sports is reporting Nick Chubb rumor. Buyer beware, boys. Jerry Jones drops cryptic hint on aggressive Cowboys trade amid Nick Chubb rumor. Well, I tell you this. I would not be mad if the Dallas Cowboys went and got Nick Chubb. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I would not be mad if the Cowboys got Nick Chubb. Even with what happened with his knee. I mean, Nick Chubb is a dog, man. That dude is a dog. I'd love to have Nick Chubb. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Jay Recruiter said Diggs is questionable. Yep. I'm wondering. Appreciate you, Spider-Man, for that $10 super chat. Spider-Man, tell me what you think. Nick Chubb up on the screen, man. How many of y'all would like to see Nick Chubb in Dallas? I would love to see Nick Chubb in Dallas. I bet you if Nick Chubb came to the Dallas Cowboys, we would watch the same turnaround that we saw, 2 or 3 years ago when the Cowboys were 3-4? Brought in Amari Cooper, and life changed for the Dallas Cowboys. Life changed. Man, you bring in Nick Chubb. Shoot. Man, hey, Nick Chubb would be a great addition for this football team. Blah, blah, blah. Stop. Niecy, I'm with you. I know I'm with you. Hey, man, but you can dream. You can dream. I would love to see Nick Chubb on the Dallas Cowboys. Man, Danny, Nick Chubb, man, if he guaranteed to stay healthy and we actually use him, man, tired Cowboy fan, you might have to change your name. They bring in Nick Chubb. You might have to change your name. They bring in Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb would literally reignite this fan base. And Spider-Man, watch this. It would send a mixed message. You're exactly right. Are we rebuilding or playing for this year? And it would make you wonder, or is Jerry just trying to throw us a bone and just giving us somebody, even though he knows what he's going to do? We'll hit the Trayvon Diggs, Mike Parsons thing real quick, but hold on a second. Let me see something here. Mike Fisher is reporting this over on the Athlon. He says, buyer beware is the first message Dallas Cowboy fans should heed when it comes to team owner Jerry Jones' habit of wishing to stir things up in a way to garner unwarranted headlines. He said, armed with that knowledge and approaching NFL trade down on Tuesday, away we go. First with Jones in a transparent headline grab in his Friday radio appearance, coyly responding to a question about possibly being aggressive at the deadline with a response that sounds substantial until you think about it twice. He says, if I see something, we look for all the meat on the bone that can improve our team. So the 3-4 Cowboys are considering changing their minds and being a buyer at the deadline? There it is, Spider-Man. Number one, we find that extremely and excruciatingly doubtful. And number two, read it again. That's not what he said. Meat on the bone to help our team doesn't have to mean an acquisition of a player for the 2024 squad. If you understand the blow it up concept, it more likely means the acquisition of a pick that would improve the team in 2025. That, pending a gigantic effort of front office policy, is almost surely what Jones is really talking about here while being cleverly cryptic about it all. Boy. Having said that, are the players who could keep this team right now, who could help this team right now, who would come to Dallas without a major cap baggage? And like so many outlets, with all due respect, blissfully unaware of the blow it up in all but predicting the Cowboys will make a deal with the Cleveland Browns for running back Nick Chubb. They right. The Browns need to get Chubb to a contending team's backfield. The Cowboys scream good fit as they've resorted to Dalvin Cook for help. This makes sense for both teams if the Cowboys are willing to part with a mid-tier trade asset. Oops, time to slam on the brakes. Dallas, the NFL's poorest rushing team, could use the help, and Chubb is in the final year of his deal, so that's not a Dallas obstacle. Yep. Probably, and I ain't going to say probably, just like Mike McCarthy being fired, I believe it when I see it. I will believe it when I see it. I just don't believe there's, I mean, we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys. This makes too much sense for the Dallas Cowboys to pick up Nick Chubb. From what I can see on Nick Chubb's salary definitely would not be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys. It looks like it's basically a $6.2 million cap hit. You've already played almost half the season. You'd be looking at about $3 million off of that 20, depending upon how all this is figured in. How it's figured in, or maybe they say, hey, you take the money, maybe we'll give you a draft pick. I would find it hard to believe that the Cowboys would actually give up a draft pick when we know they're going to try to rebuild the team through the draft. I would find it hard to believe they're going to give up a draft pick for Nick Chubb. I just don't think it. I just don't think it makes sense. Bring in Nick Chubb. I would love to. You said Warren Sapp and Ray Lewis. So, you know what? I would love for that to happen. But wishful thinking. I'm absolutely positive that is not going to happen for the Dallas Cowboys. And so let me pull this up. It's absolutely crazy that the 3-letter networks and the 4-letter networks have actually picked up on this thing of Dak Prescott left off the top 10 list. Now everybody's starting to talk about it going into the game. And I'm sure, Dak is pretty resilient. I'm pretty sure he's not going to trip on it. But I just think it's extremely tacky. Extremely tacky by his own teammates to do such a thing that would bring this kind of attention. I mean, it's just absolutely dumb. Everybody's on top of it. Let's go to this.
Top 5 right now.
And I'm going to break this down for us, and I'm going to give us both sides of this coin. I think there is a lot to do made about nothing, and then a lot to do made about something dumb. I see what they were doing, but it still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. Let's go here real quick. I'm pretty sure most of y'all have already seen this. And then we'll finish out with the comments.
Where would you rank him among quarterbacks right now? I would say he's definitely top 10.
Higher.
You think he's top 5?
For sure. Who else you gonna put in there?
Give us your top 5 right now.
I'm gonna go him. I'm gonna go Mahomes.
Marr. Gotta have Marr.
Yeah, Lamar, Josh Allen. Jalen playing pretty good right now too.
Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback right now.
And Matthew Stafford. I love how Matthew Stafford played the quarterback position.
Sam Darnold could be in the top 5 conversation right now.
Yeah, Sam Darnold looking crazy too. So it's hard as a lot of good quarterbacks right now.
I can't give you a top 5 right now based on how everybody's performing.
Yeah.
Bro. It's just too hard.
Fatality.
Where would you rank him among quarterbacks right now?
You're the quarterback for these two players. You're the quarterback for these two players. What is your thoughts on them? What are your thoughts on these two players if you're the quarterback? And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm about to put y'all into a whole different mode. Dak Prescott is not 25, 26, 27. Dak Prescott is 31 years old, about to be married with a kid. He's with a beautiful daughter. They're starting a family. See, men don't understand something. See, young guys sometimes don't get this stuff. Y'all help me out. See, when you got a wife and this kind of stuff starts circulating, see, this affects your home life. Because even your wife is like, why are they tripping on you like this? People are wondering, like, what was their point in doing this? And I was actually going back and forth with Michael Parsons' brother yesterday on Twitter, on X, formerly known as Twitter. And he was talking about it's not a big deal. He said they were just talking about right now who are the top 10 quarterbacks. But
I would say it's definitely.
I'm actually going to call cap on what Terrence said. Because if you look, let me see. I was trying to find this yesterday. And I know I'm going to go back and do a video on this later on today. But when you start looking at the top 10 quarterback rankings, it didn't sound like they were giving their quote unquote, they were not giving a top 10 based on stats, numbers. That's not what they were doing. It almost sounded like they were giving their opinion based on who they like. Now, if you're going by stats, and this is why I say first, let's go to Much Ado About Nothing. I'm thinking statistically, and only statistically speaking, this year, right now, I was trying to find. I'm thinking, I'm assuming if you're going statistically is where they're going. So if you're talking statistically, Dak Prescott is not in the top 10. Let me make sure he's not. Okay, yeah, that's what okay, so statistically speaking, Dak Prescott is not in the top 10 right now, statistically. That's all I can figure they're going by. And so if we're talking about statistically, it's Much Ado About Nothing. But the problem is they are not having a statistical conversation per se. They're having a who I like conversation right now. Because if you really went by the statistical top 10, depending upon kind of however you look at these different rankings, you would literally have Kyler Murray in the top 10. You would have Joe Burrow, as DFW was talking about. You'd have Kirk Cousins. You'd have Bo Nix. You'd have Geno Smith. So if you're looking statistically, depending upon what you're looking at, well, I could understand you're having that type of conversation. But my problem is they're not just having a conversation based on statistics. It depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at, for example, QBR, well, then you got to put Brock Purdy in there. It changes depending upon what you're looking at on the list. But they're not just talking statistically, and I know they're not. I know they're just not talking statistically. They're literally talking about who they like. So for you not to have your own quarterback on there, knowing full well on that team what he's playing with and what he's playing against, I'm going to tell you what I would have done. I think this is a subject matter they shouldn't have broached. It's just a subject matter that doesn't make sense. The timing is stupid. You're in the midst of a 3-4, going to a must-win game. And the last thing you need to do is be making a list and leaving your doggone quarterback off the list. What are you doing? This is beyond stupid. I get if you're talking statistically and you're analyzing. You say, yeah, statistically, man, this is who. But you're talking about off the dome who you like. It's stupid. Better be glad you're not on offense. Because if you want offense and you want wide receiver, I promise you I'll throw the ball in the dirt before I give you another pass. I don't care if the game plan was around you. You would never get another pass from me. This is mutiny. In my book, maybe this is different for other folk. It's mutiny for me. Man, this is a preemptive strike. You have literally launched a missile at me. You think you don't even get to come back and fix this with me. I'm built different, y'all. You don't get to come back and fix this. You don't get to come back and fix this. I'm not going to listen to nothing that you're saying. And I'm wondering, y'all. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'm wondering, when are they going to come out and apologize? When are they going to come out with an excuse? When? It's funny how folk quick to open their mouth saying all kinds of dumb stuff, but then when they get caught in their dumbness, they ain't got nothing to say. I want to know when they're going to come back and try to, quote unquote, fix this. When they going to try to fix it. Because for me, there ain't no fixing this. Y'all tell me what y'all think. There ain't no fixing this for me. This is absolutely crazy. Because it's funny to me. I just wonder if Dak Prescott, what if he decided, hey, they say, hey, Dak, hey, tell us who your top cornerbacks are in the league right now. I guarantee you, Dak Prescott is smart enough to say, well, I got one of the best cornerbacks in the league on my team, Trayvon Diggs. How much you bet Dak would say that? How much you bet Dak would say something like, you know what, Deron Bland not playing right now. One of the top cornerbacks in the league. You know what, we got some of these young guys. They've stepped up on our team. And if I'm going to mention anybody, I'm going to mention them because they're playing some high-quality football. How much y'all bet? This is absolutely madness. This is madness. This makes no sense. And if I was the owner of this team, of which I'm not the owner of this team, if I'm the GM/owner, and I would have saw this, immediately I'm making a phone call. The trade deadline is near. The trade deadline is near. We're trying to build this team up for next year. And it seems to me that Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs are not happy on this team. You know what, Pops? We have our Herschel Walker trade. I'm trading these jokers. This for me, I'm trading these jokers. There's no coming back from this. Not this one. Someone says, oh, you just in your feelings, it means nothing. It means everything. Dak is the leader of this team. The young guys are looking to him for leadership, and you got these rascals in the locker room. And they're undermining the quarterback. They're undermining the quarterback by coming up. Why did you even have to broach that subject matter? How dumb are you? What if we decided to bring up who are the best defensive ends in the league? Because I promise you, Micah Parsons has not played like a top 10 defensive end in this league this year. Before he got hurt. I don't want to hear about him being hurt. Before he got hurt, Micah Parsons was not playing like a top 10 defensive end in this league. And as a matter of fact, he was getting a lot of criticism. A lot of criticism because there were a lot of people who were saying that he's not playing like a top 10 defensive end. They were saying it before the end. And it's ludicrous to me that he's not smart enough. He is not smart enough to understand that this is a subject matter as a Dallas Cowboy. With the way the media is on this team, you should not be having this conversation. You just shouldn't. It's absolutely dumb. It shows a lack of awareness. It shows a lack of absolute care and love for your own teammate. I'm not going to be talking about who's the best running back in the league when I know my running back not running good. I'm not doing that. You're not going to get me into no discussion like that. I'm not going to try to cold crush on my own running back. Hey, George, give me the top 10 running backs. Give me the top 10 running backs. I know you play for the Dallas Cowboys, but give me the top 10 running backs. You think I'm going to run down the line? Oh, yeah, Derrick Henry, number 1. Yeah, you think I'm going to run down the line and somewhere in there, at least number 9 or 10? Or you know what? I got to give my mans a shout out. Rico Dowdle. You think I'm not going to do that? Someone says, well, you're not being right. You're biased. Duh. You better believe I'm biased. Hey, my sons will tell you. I could bring one of them in here right now. And they'll ask me, hey, you know what, Dad, you think this lady right here pretty? You think this woman right here pretty? Ask them what I'll tell you. You know what? She ain't your mama or nothing like that. I ain't playing with this. I'll tell them in a minute. My sons now, they always laugh. Well, don't ask Dad, because he going to say that mama is the best look. Your mama birthed you. Your mama married me. Your mama put up with me and y'all. And you think that I'm going to tell you that Holly Berry look better than your mama? You crazy. Y'all tell me who the most beautiful woman in the world. I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to tell you it's my wife. Why? That's my wife. I'm not going to sit up and disparage none of my teammates. You're not going to corner me into talking about who's the best wide receiver, who's the best quarterback, who's the best cornerback. I might give you a few, but I'm not going to leave anybody on my team off. You crazy. Spider-Man brought it up earlier. Did y'all see that when Clarence Hill, I think it was, caught Dak Prescott off guard talking about the walkthrough? And Dak says, Mike said that, and quickly caught himself and started covering Mike McCarthy's butt. Y'all better recognize game. This is foolishness right here. This is pure foolishness. And for those two men to steal after now they're watching the fire burn. See, now the fire burning. See, the 3 and 4 letter networks, they waited until Friday. They got to have something to go into the weekend with. They waited until Friday. Now they talking about it. Now they laughing about it. Now they're saying that this team has absolutely no confidence in Dak Prescott. Where they get that from? They could have got it from many other places. But when you nonchalantly leave your MVP runner-up, second-team all-pro quarterback who just came off the best season of his career, and now he's playing with the worst team he's ever played with in his career, and you start talking about top 10, not statistically per se, you're just talking off the dome. You don't even mention your quarterback. That's why you leave them types of topics alone. You don't want to do anything that's going to bring any negativity in your locker room. It's negativity. It's stupid stuff. It's just stupid stuff. Niecy said, you don't have my back, I can't trust you. Thank God they're not playing on the offensive line. They probably let Dak get hit. This is crazy. Spider-Man says, you are not just the quarterback, but the certified team leader. There has to be foot to you. Know what? I'm telling you, it's crazy to me, man. They could have said, we are not going to include Dak in these rankings. Dak is always number one to us. Say it for the folk in the back, Jay Recruiter. Say it for the folk in the back. It goes without saying with us. Dak will always be our number one. But other than Dak, they did it on purpose, Jay Recruiter. They did it on purpose. Word, Jay Recruiter. Yes, you right on, Spider-Man. It's all about optics. Tell him, Niecy. The Bible tells us don't even give the appearance of evil. Do we realize that sometimes that it may not be evil that we're doing, but the appearance is evil? Optics are everything. Optics are everything. You got to understand there's people who are looking from the outside too. It's stupid. No care about how Dak even thinks. They both were dead wrong for what they did to the leader of their team. Stupid. It's plain stupid. Yes, sir, at the chat. Yes. What's going on? Sit up. How you do that? Sadiqa? Yes. Nisa says they know exactly what they were doing. They're just like their owner. They're just like their owner. I said it yesterday. This team is starting to take on the characteristics of its owner. The only one that's not doing it is Dak Prescott. Every time if you shove a mic in some of their faces, every time they get the opportunity to say something or do something, they're, come on. This is crazy. Micah, make your podcast popular, but not at the expense of the team. It's crazy work to me. It's crazy work. Nisi says, oh, okay, you must know Sadiqa. Okay, I'm telling you, this is crazy work. Crazy work. Pure Purple Soul, what's going on exactly? Good afternoon. I'm telling us this is crazy work. How do you do something like this and you still have not come out and said, oh man, I bad. Spider-Man said what burns my beard. Oh man, Spider-Man. You and me both. I don't know, maybe you young, but you showing your age like me. Spider-Man says what burns my business is making this statement, knowing that you are not going out there to make a difference this week. And even worse, neither one of them are playing in the top 10 at their particular positions. Even before Michael Parsons got hurt, he wasn't doing it. What's going on, Dean? Dean said, face on, oh, he got an emoji. Face orange biting nails. Make him walk the plank. Yep, I'm telling us. This is crazy. Dak will say Deron Bland. That's what I would say. But you know, Nisi, Dak is so classy. He's not petty. He's so classy. Dak is not paying that stuff any mind, I'm sure. Dak too classy. Dak sitting with a beautiful fiance, about to be wife, new baby. I wouldn't be surprised they have another one here pretty soon, getting a new house built. Dak is doing stuff off the field to keep his mind occupied rather than these guys doing things in the media to bring attention to themselves. It's a difference in a man and an immature man. Danny said Michael Parsons, Trevor Diggs think this is a babysitting area with no walkthroughs. It's crazy. It's crazy. CD, Micah, and Trey are clicked up super immature. Very, very immature. Sadiqa says they are not going anywhere. Spider-Man said it best earlier. If these are the three superstars that you're going to build your team on, you built your team on sand. You have. Disrespect, yes, needs it on so many different levels. And they all have inflated sense of their abilities. That's why Michael Parsons ain't doing nothing. And that's why I guarantee y'all, Michael Parsons, based on what he did last year in the playoffs, down the stretch last year, based on what he's been hurt this year, based on what he did before he got hurt, and then we're going to see what he does when he comes back. I won't be surprised if the Joneses are arguing about that contract. I wouldn't be surprised there'll be another holdout. But if I'm the Joneses, I'm already on the phone. I'm already on the phone. I'm about to orchestrate the Herschel Walker trade again. It seems to me Michael Parsons has been bucking to get out of Dallas. Let him out. Heck, the linebacker from the 49ers wanted to go to Dallas last season. If we come up with Michael, let's get him. They should have moved him back to linebacker. Worst mistake they made. But Dean, you know why they didn't? Because Michael Parsons wants that defensive end money. But if I'm the Cowboys, this is one contract I'm not backing down on. You want to do that podcast? You do that podcast on another team, but you won't be doing that here. I'll have a blessed day. Appreciate you, Sadiqa. They are dumber than stupid. Right on time, Roberta. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Now, that's how you answer that question, G. I'm telling you. It just has to go without saying. This is just pure nonsense. I'm already on the phone, y'all. If I'm Jerry Jones, they think I'm talking about Nick Chubb. I'm about to shock the world on November the 5th after this election. I'm going to shock the world. I guess it's on election day. I'm going to shock the world. I'm trading Michael Parsons. I'm trading, and I don't even know what you can get for Trayvon Diggs right now. I'm trading him too. I suppose PR Jerry isn't on their tail since he has every other office position. I just can't believe that they hadn't addressed this yet. They can't let this go silent. Parsons and Diggs, if they did play for offense, they would be like the line in Washington back in the day. They let RG3 get slaughtered. You better believe they would. I could never trust these guys again. Could never. Dean says surprise, and Nisa says she ain't surprised. She said that she said Parsons been doing this. CD has showed maturity. I believe he will get it. That's the only reason CD seems to show that he can learn better. The other two, constant. Tell me this isn't hypocrisy, y'all. Tell me this is not hypocrisy. Michael Parsons and Trayvon Diggs in that same podcast are talking about how the media seems to be against the local team. And they bring more negativity towards the team than the national media do. I've said that before. I said that's why Jerry tripped on 105.3. And I said Trayvon Diggs. I understand why he did what he did to Mike Leslie. But isn't it strange? You say something like that in the podcast, and then you do exactly what you're guilty of. It's pure crazy. It's pure crazy. Tuck says house is built on Lego blocks. No doubt. Let Parsons go ASAP and Diggs. Yep, you're right. Danny Kittle for Michael Parsons, cuz man, that'd be a heck of a trade right there. That'd be a heck of a trade right there. Kittle would eat with Dak Prescott. Spider-Man, I hope so, because this transforms his tantrums during games are embarrassing, and his mama's antics don't help matters. I think CD is learning. He's learning, and he has to realize that, you know what? You on offense, bro. Them dudes on defense. You don't have time for this stuff. CD felt the heat of football fans on his butt. Everyone was calling them out, and Troy was the final straw. I wish one of these players, I'm with you, Danny Dodger, Kittle for Parker Parsons would be dope. And I'm going to close out right here because I plan on coming back around 6:30 today. So I'm going to close out right here. But I really believe that this team really needs to think about what it's doing. I mean, we are literally looking at, and matter of fact, we're going to talk about defense tonight. I didn't even talk about the defensive keys. But this is just crazy. This is just absolutely crazy what these guys have done. Going into a must-win game, you're pulling these types of shenanigans. It's crazy. It's crazy. And Dak Prescott already got enough on his plate, man. Why is somebody on the team bringing this kind of attention to, it doesn't even make sense to me. It just doesn't even make sense. It's crazy to me that they would do something so egregious. And Terrence Parsons, man, he's sitting up here trying to defend his brother, and I understand why he's doing it. But don't you think your brother should be doing the same thing for his brother on the team? It's crazy work, man. This is crazy work and crazy talk. And those guys need to come out, and I don't think they can fix it. But I do think they need to come out and try to do some type of damage control and say, okay, hold on, y'all are taking this out of context. That's not how we meant it, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. I just don't, these guys today are just so immature. And I see it all the time, man. Social media has ruined the minds of so many. Parsons for Garrett and Njoku plus compensation. Man, be nice. Kittle has a lot of miles on those tires. Give me a 1 and a 2. I'd rather have the draft picks. I really would. I'd rather have the draft picks. That would be so funny, trading Kittle and Parsons. Remember that his guy that he allowed to disrespect him with that F Dallas t-shirt. Oh, I'm telling you, though, I don't want, on the road the Cowboys seem to be on right now, I say no baggage. If you're going to rebuild, just go ahead and rebuild it. Get in that draft, and you build it how you want it. Later, Danny. I'm about to get off too. See you tonight live. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'll be back tonight about 6:30. So that's me. If it's me, I'm just done. I'm done. This is too much for me. I can't do it. I can't have people that's going to betray my team like that. I mean, you got to be smart enough just not to even deal with this subject matter. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. It's just dumb to even do it. It don't even matter what you meant. It doesn't even matter if you say it's harmless. It's already doing harm. It's already doing harm because it's already now circulating on the news networks. And now your quarterback has got to go out, and I hope people don't start asking the questions, but I wouldn't be surprised that if they lose the game, because this is what people like to do. They like to pick and choose when they put that dagger in you. I wouldn't be surprised that if they lose the game, that's when they start hitting Dak with this right here. Well, what do you think about them leaving you off? It's just pure nonsense. It's just pure nonsense. I would defend my brother publicly, but would pull him all the way together so he wouldn't do it again. I'm telling you. I think the fans forget how many people Dallas lost in the offseason. They did. And they did. Good stream. Holler later. Yeah, about to get off at 3:30. People are just stupid. It's just crazy. It just makes no sense, especially on the defensive side. We're gonna hit the defensive side tonight. I wouldn't care how mad my teammate playing. If a question like that come up, my dude, the best, then get to naming them. That's it. You can name who you want, bro, but just be smart enough to say, hey, man, well, number one, my guy, point blank. I'm riding with my guy. He's number one right now. And then I give you everybody after him. That's me. I'm not doing anything that's going to bring any embarrassment to my team. Not me. Man, football is the ultimate team sport. And a lot of people don't understand. Football is the ultimate mental sport. It's a mental sport. Because really, you got a lot of men, you got a lot of guys on the team that's all talented. And what separates the talent is the heart and the mentality. So that makes or breaks players in this league. It makes or breaks players in this league. And so you got to be very careful when you're dealing with that. So appreciate you. Appreciate you, Spider-Man. Appreciate that super chat again. I'll be back tonight, y'all. I'm going to hit y'all back around 6:30. Until the next time. If y'all like this, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So you'll know the next time Let's Talk Cowboys post a video where we talk facts. Peace.